everybody.
Hey.
You might have noticed we've got extra cushion here today. Today is a very special day. It is the first time we're having a guest on our podcast. We decided what better first guest to have than our team.
Yeah,
for the podcast. Team. Yes, we have Emily here. Emily is predominantly my assistant, but she helps with a ton of podcast stuff as well. We have Samson, our editor, and then we have Mauricio behind the production desk over there. So we will be asking them a bunch of work questions and stuff, and how we all know each other and how we got to this point, really.
Yeah.
This is gonna be a lore dump for you.
I'm excited just to know everything about you guys, because you guys have been working prior to this podcast.
So you guys will get to meet Emily, and then we will have Emily on for about 20 minutes, then Samson, and then we will, just question Mauricio.
Yeah, I'll just chat.
Yeah, Mauricio will be here the whole time.
I'm always here. That's nothing special. I'm here every episode. So.
No, this is special. This is special because you get to talk more than you normally would.
So. I have a lot to say for sure.
Yeah, he said he was gonna
sounded
call
really
me
ominous.
out for some reason.
No, I was joking. That sounded really ominous.
Emily, are you ready?
You have the party trick.
She has a party trick. Look at him, he's so excited.
He's baby.
Baby. Okay, earlier he did a front flip into the bag.
That's
I
true.
think he's camera shy.
He did his best.
Yes. Oh, we need to move her microphone. All right, everybody, welcome. This is Emily. One of my assistants. Emily helps with a lot of hands-on stuff. She watches Mika. Mika loves Benny, as you can see. He's over here.
Auntie.
Yes, Emily is so incredible. How do I even begin with her? I pretty much stole you from other creators that also work with you.
Yes.
I mean, you still work for other creators as well.
Yes. So technically, you stole me from Leslie, but I still work with Leslie. Yeah, I still work with Leslie. So. Yeah, I've been working with Leslie for 4 years now, which is crazy.
Yeah.
Because I'm 24, so when I was a little baby, just 20, and then you for 2 years now.
Yes.
Almost 2, I think.
So what do you do for podcast stuff?
Podcast stuff, I help out with snacks. I get the snacks. Topics, because I think Mauricio's awesome, but we're women.
Yeah.
And women have different struggles in life than the dudes over there. And I think, honestly, it's been a lot of moral support.
Oh my God.
A lot of just in managing other creators, having Leia and Lena come in to give you guys outfits and stuff like that. So I'm kind of moral support / fun help.
Yes.
Yeah. That's what I'll call
Emily is just an extra pair of hands whenever we need someone to if we have a special, she has a paint set over there that she brought for fun if we want to do a special little painting thing
a little something.
Pretty much
to call myself a glorified mom, a mom. I'm not glorified because mothers are amazing, mothers out there. I am a mother to 30-year-old children.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it.
How did you get into the space? Can we just talk about your whole life?
Yes.
Who are you? Who, what, when, where, and why?
My life kind of is work right now, but it's for good reasons. I genuinely enjoy my job and I like where my life is at. But I got started, really fun story, and somehow Mauricio is kind of part of this in some weird way. But I was going to USC, which is a school here, and it was my dream. I was like, I'm going to go to the film school, I'm going to study game design, I'm going to do my thing. And I got into the school, and my freshman year, I lost it to COVID. My sophomore year, I had a really sad family thing happen, and my life kind of just overnight turned upside down.
Wow.
And I was depressed, but I was playing League almost every night. And I somehow met a guy on League who knew Amanda, which is your other assistant.
Yes, for context, Amanda is my other assistant who predominantly helps me with scheduling. I just need someone to help me with scheduling because I can't remember what day it is, what hour it is, what I'm doing. She's been wonderful. She also used to work at 100 Thieves, which is how I met Amanda.
Yep.
And now
Okay.
she is working for OTV.
Yep.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Yeah,
So
This is new
Amanda
to me.
found you.
Yeah.
Yeah,
How
this is a lore dump for you.
Yeah, how many
It's a
assistants
lore
do you
dump.
have?
I have two.
Okay,
Two.
two.
Yes.
Okay.
So Emily's more hands-on, and Amanda's for scheduling.
Okay,
Yeah.
period.
So I met a guy that knew her, and I was just like in such a low spot in my life. I was just like trauma dumping onto him. And he's like, wait, I know a girl that like went to USC and was in your exact same position in terms of like I was doing the same clubs as her. I was like studying the same things.
Oh.
It's like, you guys should meet. I met, we built this relationship. I would just like go to her for advice all of the time.
Yeah.
And then one day she just like Discord, I got the boop boop on Discord. And she's like, hey, I have 3 girls that I like know / work with, and they're looking to hire an assistant. Would you be interested? And me working 3 jobs at USC, making barely any money, like I was trying to support my mom, myself. I was trying to like do
Wow.
anything I could to stay afloat and to stay in school. But USC's $90K a year. And like
wow.
I
That's
was
expensive.
yeah, like
That
I was
is.
not gonna pay that on my own. And so basically those 3 people were Foosley, Yvonne, and Katamina, which is Myung.
Okay.
Which is
And
your
I
best
lived
friend.
with all of them.
Yep. They ended up getting a house with Ray.
Oh,
And
wow.
then they all became friends, did their thing. Well, you guys were already friends, but then I started working for Ray. And then I also have my like 9 to 5 job. Well, it's more so like my life, and then they're also my life. But I do talent management at a company, like at a management firm. So.
Oh my god, you're so multifaceted. You work a lot, girl.
My life is work, but it's fun because I think that this job is very much relationship based. And so it's
Yeah.
like I have people like Ray in my corner. I have these 2 such sweet girls I work with. Their names are Karen and Connie. They're twins and they play The Sims. They're like so fun. I work with them and they're like such sweethearts. So it's like, it doesn't really feel like work. It just feels like we're all working towards whatever fun goals each creator has. Like when Ray was like, oh, I want to do a podcast. I'm like, that sounds so fun. Like sign me up whenever
Yay.
you're coming.
She was so supportive.
Were you?
She helped with everything. And even our first episode, she's sitting on the sidelines, like
yeah.
cheering us on.
I remember that.
laughing at
Such a
us and
sweetheart.
stuff, and
Thanks. But yeah, it's like, it's super cool because I went from one of the hardest places in my life ever to looking back at it now and being like, damn, I'm actually kind of happy that happened because
Aw.
Yeah.
it forced me to like grow up. Because I grew up in like a nice area, like no problems in my life. Like the thing I would worry about in the morning is like, what uniform skirt do I wear? Like
Right,
which one?
right.
Whereas now I'm like, I look back, I'm like, I'm so happy that happened. Obviously, like everything with my family is good now, which is also like the little cherry on top. But that forced me to grow up and like take control of my life and do something with it. And I've met the coolest people along the way, like Ray, and a few other creators that I work with. And even my bosses, like at my company, like it's such a fun company to work at.
Yeah.
So I'm like happy. And then I just go
Yay.
home and play League. So I'm like, life's good. Like
Yeah.
nothing to complain about. So that's my lore. And where Mauricio comes in is like 100 Thieves, Amanda. Like we all know each other. And my current boss at my management company is from 100 Thieves and worked with Mauricio a few years ago.
that's
Yeah.
That's
So it's like,
insane.
bloop.
Yeah.
Honestly, it's kind of crazy because like you and Samson, I don't know if you remember, like it used to just be me and you, Ray.
yeah.
Yeah.
Like way back in the day. And then I feel like now I've kind of just like assembled like the Avengers of like Team valkyrae with Emily and Samson because like you guys make my life so much easier just by like releasing some of the pressure and headache. So yeah, it's really nice to have you guys on the team.
I mean,
honestly.
I trusted Mauricio so much. We've been working together for so long, and he vouched for Samson.
Yeah.
He vouched
I was like,
for
we
you.
need
We
this
also
dude.
stole him.
We stole him.
What?
Stole Ray.
Oh.
He stole Emily.
Hey, listen. I hope you're happy here.
Okay.
How many streamers or YouTubers do you work under? Is it just exclusively streamers and YouTubers?
So I personally love working with streamers just because it's like my comfy space. Like that's what I grew up with. I grew up watching streamers.
Oh,
like
you did?
Yeah, like I was
didn't know
a
that.
Who'd
I-
you watch?
Yeah,
Tyler
who'd you
One.
watch?
I
You
love
were a
Tyler One.
fan?
I love Tyler One. But I'm
Wow,
a
you've been
girl.
playing League for a while
Oh,
now.
Yeah.
I've been playing League since I was 16, and I like knew my frontal lobe like fully developed when I used to cry when I would lose my ranked games. Like I would get so
Aw.
upset I would cry. Whereas now I'll like lose 15 ranked games in a row and be like, on to the next one. Like, it's all good.
Jesus Christ.
I don't know if it's like development or like insanity.
You just know you can get it back.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's like,
Kinda
it's
thing.
whatever.
What's a rank game?
A ranked game in League? Okay, so, oh God.
And why is it so intense?
Ranked is like
It's
going in a
intense.
leaderboard. So, for example, like let's say your business that you have, well, it's not even comparable because your business is
No,
like
you're trying to make a comparison.
let's
it's
say
okay.
you have your business, right? And then
Yeah.
there's like 5 other super cute, hot, awesome, driven girlies that do stun gun businesses too,
Yeah.
right? And every year you do like sales.
Yeah.
And one year, like, other hot girl beat you in sales by like 1 stun gun.
Oh, that
and then the
stressed me
next year you're
out.
like, fuck no.
She's feeling it now.
yeah, I'm like,
You're like,
stress.
heck no, I need to be number 1. So then like you do your thing, like you improve. You see like, oh, where can I improve my bit? Blah, blah, blah. And then boom, you're rank 1. Like it's just like,
Oh,
there's surely a better way.
no,
to do
you
it.
explain. No,
for-
you explain that so well. I understand.
Okay, relatable.
Yeah, relatable.
That's
I related
awesome.
it to you.
Eloquent girl.
Yeah.
We're actually playing League tonight as
Yes.
a team. Lisa's gonna sit this one out. She doesn't
Yeah.
play these kind of games,
Team
but
bonding.
yep, I just
Exercise.
started playing League for the first time, and then I'm just seeing how everyone has just had a League phase.
Oh,
So
yeah.
I'm a little worried. It's
For the
one of those
world.
games that takes a lot of time and effort to learn. There's a lot of items. There's a lot of team comps. There's a lot of
Yeah.
just like positioning and knowing the map knowledge and stuff. So
Yeah.
it's.
Yeah.
I'm just getting into it because like all my friends are playing it right now, so I have FOMO, missing out
Yeah.
on.
Is
you
it
know.
hard to learn?
It's a grind to learn.
It's
It
a
is
grind.
not like
Yeah.
for the entry level gamer.
That's
And the
me.
reason it's so popular is like the Michael Jordan / Kobe Bryant / like
This guy named Faker.
GOAT.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay,
His name is
Faker.
Faker, and he's won 5 world championships.
Yeah, 5. He just won another world champion a few days ago. And Faker is probably the best esports player of all time in any game. Like he's
Ooh.
that talented. And
Yeah.
so everyone is just like so into League now because I mean League's been popular for a very long time too.
Oh yeah.
Oh
so
yeah. It has not died for forever, and
Damn.
he's so popular. He got a $500 skin. Like, pretend. How
It's
can I
like
relate
a
this to?
costume your character
Yeah,
can wear.
like when you were Raven, like that's a skin. That's a
Yeah.
skin. It's a form.
It's
Oh,
a
I know what
Lisa
a skin
skin.
is, guys. Come on. Come on.
I told everyone, I was like, guys, if we're gonna talk about League, you need to describe what we're talking about
Yeah.
for people that don't play games.
So funny. He has a
Aw, you guys are
500.
cute. You're like, this bitch doesn't know what's. Explain to me like a dummy.
I mean,
Thank you. No,
there's
you're
a lot
good.
of
No,
people
no.
watching as well that probably
Yeah.
don't know.
Yeah,
Like,
I
what's
know.
a skin? Like, are you literally skinning them? Like, what
Yeah.
is this?
No, valid.
Kidding?
Valid.
That's crazy.
But thank you for that. Thank
Yes,
you.
of course. But he has a $500 Ari skin, which is like one of his favorite champions in the game.
And people can buy that?
Oh yeah, and I bought it.
Oh,
I have it.
Oh my gosh!
And I
I
would
want
buy
to.
it.
Can we
that
pull up the
that
skin?
Valkyrae money working hard.
Let's pull up the skin because I actually don't even know. Yeah. No,
Okay,
pull up
let's
the skin.
She's like a fox
Ari.
lady.
ooh, she's
People
hot.
cosplay as Ari because she
Oh.
looks so good.
Yeah, she's.
Oh,
like a
I've seen,
sexy
like,
that
little
skin is
cosplayers.
incredible.
Is that the official art of League?
Yeah, that's like the.
Oh my
League art
God.
is gorgeous.
Yeah.
oh yeah.
Damn.
You should watch Arcane, Lisa. I feel like you'd like it.
Oh,
Yeah,
you've heard of Arcane, right?
I have.
And like it's not you don't need to play the game to understand it. Like it's as a standalone project, it's actually
So
still
good.
very
I've
like,
seen the art
stunning.
of it, and it's phenomenal.
Yeah,
and
it's
the
incredible.
two
So
leads
pretty.
are gay girlies.
Ooh,
They
well,
love each other.
They do
Oh,
love each other.
it's gay.
Yeah. Oh, it's
Oh.
gay.
Oh, it's pretty
gay.
gay.
Wait, you sold me.
Season 2?
Sold. How did you have time to have a pet?
That is the thing. So I am spontaneous.
Oh,
Like
I already know where this is going.
Where's it going? Where's it going?
if Ray asked me to do something at like 4 a.m. and I'm awake, I would do it. Like I've done that for years, and I think my brain doesn't know how to shut off. So weekends where I'm like free to do something, I don't relax. I'm like, I'm bored. What do I do?
Ooh.
She's a doer.
And I was stalking this Chihuahua page because I had Chihuahuas growing up, and I
Aw.
stalked this lady. Her name is Las Vegas Tiny Chihuahuas.
Okay.
And I was thinking, I'm like, what if I just go look? Like, I'm just gonna go check it out.
Oh.
I go and I see him. His name was Mac, and his brother's name was Cheese.
Oh my God, that's everything.
And out of all of the puppies, like the other ones were like a little bit stuck up, like on brand small dog.
Yeah.
He came right up to me, was like sniffing me, was like playing right away. And I put my deposit down and I drove back to LA. And then she called me a week later. It's like, he's ready to be picked up. You can come whenever. Literally dropped everything to go pick him up the next morning, 6 a.m. And
that was that.
that was that. And honestly, he is a lot of work, but he's a chill dog. But yeah, I didn't think I'd have time for him. And honestly, I did not think about that. Like, I think I was just so, I want a dog. I need a dog. Like, I want that love in my life again. Because I grew up with 3 dogs and I had Chihuahuas and they were genuinely my best friends. Like, best friends ever.
Aww.
And I don't know, I felt like something was missing from my life, and not a man, but like a cute puppy. And so
Ooh, I love that you took that route. Like,
Yeah.
I don't want a man, I want a dog.
I want a
baby.
dog.
I
And
want a
so
baby.
Something I wanted to talk about
I'm scared.
was
The baby.
because I have been trying to tell her. Do you hear how well spoken she is?
She
How good
is.
she is on camera? I've been telling her, like, you should stream. Like, so many people in my community, they love you. They want to
Yeah.
see you stream more. Have you thought about streaming?
I don't see a world where I would be doing content and being able to do both things, because if I'm taking a step back in their lives, when that's my job and I owe it to them to like go pursue something else, like it would have to be like a cut down the middle. Like it'd be like I have to do one or the other. And then further than that, for the longest time, I have been so like, I don't like being on camera. I do it for you.
She does it
Which
for
is
me.
funny.
I've forced her a
I
few
do
times.
it for her and I do it for Leslie, but like I don't have any, like you go look at my Instagram. I have not posted in 3 years. I have
Oh,
six.
shit.
I have 6 photos max. Some are from high school, some from college, and like when people ask me to post more, like, oh, you should do TikTok, you should do, I'm so shy and a little bit insecure because I just I don't know how to be on camera. And when you guys tell me like, oh, you're doing good, it's like, because I'm sitting with people I'm comfortable with and I'm having a conversation, I'm not really thinking about that right now.
Yeah.
But then when I go watch it later, I'm going to be like, oh my God, what was I saying? Like, why did I say
It's
that?
okay.
But it's
Everybody
normal.
does that.
This is a normal feeling that a lot of people have.
Also, I'd be a toxic league streamer. Like, if I'm being so honest, I would probably get canceled in a day. Like, and not even on purpose. It's not anything I'm
I
saying
want to
bad.
see. Since we're gonna play League tonight, I'm very curious to see like what kind of toxicity
Yeah, what
might
do you
come out.
say?
I grew up with the most toxic League of Legends community of all time. Like back then, it was bad. Like it was, if you were like a girl, like even being a girl in the gaming space was still like not super normal yet. Like it's kind of almost like changed the tide a little bit, where all these female streamers that are so powerful in like their voice, the message that they bring, that whatever, right? It was not like that in 2016 with League of Legends. Like my first interaction with a streamer was actually, this is so off tangent, but like kind of not, was Pokey.
Really?
2016 Worlds, I went alone because I didn't have any girlfriends that played, and my parents actually came and just like stood at the top, like in the box, and they're like, "Go have fun, like do your thing."
Oh my
like
God.
we don't know where we're at, but like we support
Oh,
it.
that was
Aw,
sweet of
that's
them.
So sweet of them. Well, they also didn't like want me to die, but anyway. And I sat, and everyone in my seating area was all guys, and I remember being like, "Oh, like this is like." I don't know, I don't see any girls here, but I would watch Pokey growing up. I would watch others growing up in the League community. I'm like so excited to meet them or to see them. And I had lost all hope in meeting her. And she walks out of the bathroom and I'm like, oh, like, hey girl.
Wow.
And we took a photo. I wish I had it so we could show you
to
guys.
show
I
it.
don't have it, but it is like me, a little wee 16-year-old, and Pokey, and we look so tiny. We look like
Oh, I
babies.
know, right?
And I remember the first time I like met her again, I was like, oh my gosh, we met at Worlds. That like you meant a lot to me when I was growing up. Like it was really cool as a girl that wanted to pursue a career in game design, not streaming, to like see what you were doing.
Yeah.
And I don't think she remembered me, which is totally fair.
She knows you now.
I did
Yeah,
not,
she
she knows me now. I did not look the same back then at all. Like I see photos of myself when I was 15. I'm like, who is that? Yeah, she walks out of the bathroom. We take a photo, and I just think it's such a fun, like full circle. Like it almost feels like fate in the sense where I was not planning on working with streamers ever. That was never like on my list of to-do items. It was like go to college, get a degree, maybe work in movies, maybe work at Riot, do game design. Like, that was my plan. And I had stuck to that plan for so many years. And I'm like, wow.
I can't stop.
Benny is dry heaving.
Benny, come here.
Benny, come here.
Come here. Come here.
I'm sorry. I just can't. Like, my ADHD is like focusing on that.
We gotta put this in the episode. He's doing it right into the
Can they
microphone.
hear?
They can definitely hear.
What did you go to university for, and what did you think you were going to do for a career?
Ever since I was a wee little baby, like, I knew I wanted to go to USC. And there's, like, really fun lore here. I played lacrosse. I actually, like, committed to a D1 school.
Wow.
I would have
Damn,
never
girl.
known
Yeah,
that.
I was my insanity now in terms of, like, just loving work was, like, 10 times worse in high school. Like, all I did was school and, like, try to get into USC. Like,
Yeah.
I was in the mindset of, if I don't get into USC, my life is over. Like, I genuinely talked myself into that because
Oh, wow.
I went to a
Nice.
competitive high school where, like, the school you ended up getting into, like, defined you.
Yeah.
And I
Yeah.
was dumb back then, and, like, that's all I cared about. And so
I think that's normal for a lot of kids,
Yeah.
though,
I
in
think
high
so.
school.
Especially nowadays with how hard, like, how difficult it is to get into college. But I ended up not doing lacrosse. I was like, I don't love it enough to pursue it. I'm going to get into USC through academics. And so I got into the film school. It's, like, called USC School of Cinematic Arts. And one of the majors within that school is game design. And I knew since I was, like, literally 16, addicted to League, I wanted to work at Riot Games.
Yeah.
And I wanted to do game design. And I either wanted to do, like, game art, game narrative storytelling.
Really?
Or I was, like, so, like, Riot was, like, my life. I was like, I love League of Legends. I want to work for them.
Wait, that's
oh my-
kind of
That's
sad, because do you still
Wait.
want to
No,
do
no,
that?
no, no,
wait.
no, no.
Oh,
I
you're,
don't.
like, over that
I'm
dream.
over that dream. You make it in your head that it's this really cool thing.
Yeah.
And I still think it's cool. I have so much respect for the people that, like, can grind hours and stuff like that. But it was actually kind of nice because I lost my first year of college to COVID. And then my second year was, like, when my family stuff happened. And my second year is actually when I started to question, like, do I actually like this, or do I just have an obsession with League of Legends? Like, which
Yeah.
one is it? Because I was taking my classes and I was getting through them super easy. I wasn't being challenged. And I don't think it was because they were difficult. I just think, like, I think the classes were difficult. I just think I was over it. Like, I had made it my life for so long that by the time it was, like, actually time to pursue it, I had this image of what it was going to be like, and then I was
Right.
like, I don't know if I love this. And then when my family stuff happened, I, like, didn't have time to think about it.
Yeah.
And I also candidly was like, this job's not going to pay me enough to, like, pay the bills that are going to come with USC. I was not focused on my career at that point. I was like, I got to do whatever I can to, like, support my mom,
Yeah.
support what's going on.
Wow.
Like, when some, like, a health scare comes up, like, nothing else matters.
Nothing
like,
matters.
Only your health matters at that point. Even if it's, like, not yourself, but, like, a loved one, it's like, that is all that matters to you. And
Right.
so I was working 3 jobs on campus. School didn't matter as much to me. I was more so focused on, like, the bag now, and, like, not the bag to be, like, rich and awesome and
To, like,
successful,
live
right?
comfortably.
Yeah, I was back then, though, I was focused on the bag to, like, get by. Like, it was just to get by. Like,
survival.
Yeah, exactly. And that's when I met Amanda and everything happened, and now I'm here. But originally, yeah, I wanted to do game design. I was so set on it, and then I just kind of, like, appeared here. I, like, got summoned.
That's really cool. So you know how to, like, draw and all, like, of character design.
Yep.
I love that.
I used to do art. I used to post my art on my Twitter.
Can you show me some of
Can
your
we
art?
pull up some
Yeah,
of
can we?
Do you have any of it online that I
As
can
an
find?
artist, I'm very intrigued by this because
Wait,
I didn't
need
know
to
this.
tell you,
I didn't know this
actually.
either. I didn't know you were an artist.
You're gonna love this because you're autistic, and I don't
Yeah.
say that in a mean way at all. Okay, she said
You're gonna love this because
Yeah,
you're autistic.
you're on the spectrum, neural spicy.
the game that actually got me into the film school. So for reference, the USC Film School, when I applied, the acceptance rate was, like, under 2%. I think it was like a
Wow.
0.6%. I don't.
Wow.
And
Don't
you got
fact check me.
accepted?
Yeah, don't
Oh,
fact
you're
check me on that.
bad,
But it was
bitch.
under 2, and I had good grades, but like to get into a school like that, like you gotta go, like, you have to be somebody. Like you have to do something special. And so I actually made a game in high school called Hugo. And
You made a game?
I will send you the stuff so you can show it. But I made a game called Hugo, and similar to how you have like these cute little creatures, like the animals and the things. I made a chameleon character, and his name was Hugo. His name was Hugo because like hue is color, and then go like whatever Hugo. And so there's this thing called the feeling wheel, and the feeling wheel is a diagram that they use for people, specifically usually children that have intellectual disabilities, to understand what emotions are, because color direction is super helpful.
Yes.
So for example, the game was not really like a game for like that Ray would play on stream and like super enjoy, right? Like you'd probably like it.
For
But
like, it's not for like neurotypicals.
it's not for entertainment. It actually was for people that have emotional like difficulties understanding emotions. And that does tend to be like obviously me sometimes and you sometimes and you sometimes, but also kids that have intellectual disabilities. And I was working with 2 kids in high school that both had Down syndrome, and I actually thought of the idea while teaching one of them like how to do their homework. And essentially what it is it's a game with a OC that makes it recognizable, makes it like you have a friend. It's like a friendly thing. And he would teach you emotions through mini games. So and it's also therapy in an app, considering like if you were to play it, like it gets your minds off things. It maybe helps. It's like educational. And so one of the mini games, for example, was like, Hugo is feeling anxious. Here's an example of when he'll feel anxious that somebody
really
with
cool.
intellectual disabilities can understand.
Is this still available?
Yeah, is it
No.
available to play?
So when I had to drop out, I stopped it.
Listen,
All right, let's get some
Yeah.
funding going
I
for
would be
Hugo.
Yeah.
fully supportive if you want to continue that
That's
project.
sweet.
Exactly.
I
Because
wouldn't
I
know
feel
how
like
to do
that
it
helps a
now.
lot of people. Wait, what was that?
I wouldn't know how to. I would sell it to somebody because I wouldn't know how to
Yeah.
make it, and I don't have time to make it. But like, let's say you're anxious and you're a kid that has intellectual disabilities, and it's like, okay, how do I relate to somebody like that? Well, you might be anxious when you have to give a presentation in front of your class, or when you're meeting somebody new, or you're doing something you haven't done before. And so the anxious mini game, to explain what that feeling might be like, would be like, Hugo feels anxious when he's giving a presentation. When you feel anxious, you might feel like there's butterflies in your stomach. Catch all of the butterflies to make him less anxious.
That is so cute.
And then like his happy or his joy meter would go up. So there would be like little butterflies in like a stomach profile, and you'd have a net and you'd collect them.
Very educational.
Yeah, I love how
Yes.
intentional it is
Yeah.
too.
I put so much of my life into that, and that's what I submitted to USC, and that's what I think got me accepted, because
Absolutely.
so many people apply to that school and they're beyond talented, and I had such insecurity back. I was like, there's no way I get accepted. I got in and I like cried in the middle of my street, almost got hit, and I was like, I have a habit of doing that.
Yeah, you do.
But
Yeah.
that was like what I wanted to do. I wanted to make that game, and I wanted to make like essentially therapy in an app for children that are often like left out, if that makes sense. But then stuff happened and I couldn't afford school anymore. And also, I'm gonna say it right now,
Ooh.
the program was not invested in games like that. They're invested in games that are gonna make a lot of money.
Yeah.
And so my game got picked to make like my senior year as a thesis project, but it wasn't like not the most entertaining for other students or investors or buyers, because it's like, what are we gonna like? Where's the money, sort of thing, versus like making another AAA League of Legends. So,
Yeah.
Well, if you ever need an investor and you want to
you.
bring it back, I didn't know this. I didn't
Thanks,
know
Green.
your secret lacrosse art talent. What
I
the
was
heck,
way
game
cooler when I
Yeah.
was little. I was way cooler.
I'm
now.
so cool
shocked.
now.
This is new.
I didn't
word.
know any of
Yeah.
this either.
I wanted to ask all of you this. Pretty much like the high highs and the low lows of your job. Don't worry, no one is getting fired. Okay.
Well,
You can say what you want. I'm all for improving. I mean, surely if it's something really personal, just let me know after this.
This is something I was gonna actually like. It segues perfectly into something I was gonna actually ask Emily earlier, because you can't really survive doing these jobs in these spaces unless you're basically kind of always available.
Because it's competitive too.
Yeah.
Yeah, if I don't do it at 4 a.m., there's
Someone
somebody
will.
out there
Exactly.
that will.
So do you do? I mean, here's what I do. I set alarms in the morning just to check my phone for messages, and often I get them. I like.
Is it for podcast stuff? Because
Just
for
anything.
context, Mauricio now he produces not only this podcast but another podcast as
Yeah,
well.
and we can talk about that
Yeah.
when I start yapping a bit. But like, yeah, I mean, like for whatever it may be, like there's just like a. Sometimes now it's even like a natural internal clock that's kind of like
You just
thrown
automatically
there,
wake
where
up.
I'll just like wake up, check my phone for texts. I'll be like, okay, I get another hour of sleep. So I'm curious if like your life is similar in that way.
Yeah, I think it got a little bit better when I joined a company, like a management firm, because
There's like work hours.
there's work hours. But when I was doing like just strictly PA stuff, like still grinding, I still grind now, but I was like, I need this to work out because
Yeah.
my livelihood depends
like
on it.
depended on it.
Yeah.
I think that's
um, I would wake up at 6 a.m. every single morning, and I'd probably go to sleep at like maybe 1 or 2. So I was sleep deprived all the time. And then I would have my ringer on at all times. So like,
Yeah.
if somebody called me at 3, it's gonna wake me up, and I'm gonna do something. And
Oh yeah,
that
there's
has
no do
happened.
not disturb. Yeah, that doesn't exist.
Yeah, there's no, and I am always checking my phone, always. Like, I feel like I'm one of the fastest responders ever. Like, if you ask me if you tell me to do something, I'll have it done in like 5 minutes if it's like an easy thing.
She's so efficient.
Like this earlier today, like I was at work. I think it was like around 8 a.m. or something, which like kind of early for me to like be. I was in my office already. Like, I actually had already dropped off a dog at the groomers, and I was at the office working for at least an hour already. And she's like, "Can someone make a reservation?" And I was like, "Yeah, they're not open till 5. I know that by heart, but like, let me go on Resy and make a reservation." Okay, I did it. Okay, here it is. And like, it's probably like a 5-minute thing.
God, you work fast.
For context, Myung's birthday is tomorrow. By the time we're filming, you'll see this episode. Like, her birthday is November 9th. And so I asked Amanda and Emily, like, I know this is super last minute, but can someone make a birthday reservation? And originally it was for 10 people. And then
20.
the more people I asked, the more people started saying yes, which I wasn't expecting. A lot of people are normally busy or with streamers and all, streamer lives. And I was like, can you change it to 15 people? How about 17? I was like, can we fit 20?
And
You were stressed.
And that
Yeah, I
was an
did.
easy ask. Like, that's not anything.
But it is last minute. And
But
I'm sure
always
you got
last
a lot
minute.
of those
I promise
requests.
you, it is nothing. Like,
Oh yeah.
It's different when you have to come in person.
that is different because that really depends. Like, when we lived, that's another thing. I don't know if you do this still, but I would follow them. So if Ray moves somewhere,
I did.
Yeah,
I did.
if Ray moves somewhere, I'm moving 5 minutes from her.
Wait, really?
The only reason I
wow.
didn't do it this time is because like I love my apartment. Like I can't see myself living anywhere else anymore. But I used to follow them like
But I'm
anywhere.
like aware of it, so
Wow.
I just try to be mindful of how far the drive is
Yeah,
sometimes.
because if
so.
she tells me to come somewhere at like, hey, be here by 4, like I need to leave at like 3, maybe 2:30.
I see.
Yeah, so
It was really funny one time. When I was in a streamer house in Hollywood, Mauricio was on the opposite side of town, and then he ended up moving in that direction, and we ended up moving where he was living before.
Yeah.
And he was just like, "What are you doing?"
I did
You guys
that
are so
too.
funny.
Yeah.
When you guys, so they were telling me, oh, we're gonna live in this area, and I was like, great, I'm gonna get ahead of it. I'm gonna move first so I can help them with their move. And then you guys moved opposite
The
side.
other way.
And then
Oh.
I was like, I can't do this. Like, I just won't have time. So I canceled my lease. I paid the extra money to like cancel it. And then I
That's
moved
so
close
crazy.
to them.
You guys are adorable. You guys are just all panicking to be together.
Well, yeah, and then you also have to keep in mind that like, I mean, LA traffic's a very real thing.
It's-
And
Yeah.
so it's like,
oh,
It's terrible.
fuck.
it's the difference between like
Yeah.
being able to get an extra hour of sleep or like having the commute back both ways
Yeah.
being like an hour and a half versus 20 minutes.
Yeah. I
That's
would
true.
like go somewhere early and just bring my laptop and work. Because I'm like, if I leave later, it doesn't make any sense. I'm not going to get there on time. So it's like a lot of planning. And then given that I have like a full-time job and it is a priority, like I'll be straight up and candid about that. Like my other job is a priority to me. Amanda will send her schedule, and then I'll be like, okay, are there slots where she could ask me to do something? and I'll just be mindful of it. And honestly, I don't think there's been a time where I've had to tell you no.
I mean, I'm also very mindful.
She's very
You're so
I'm
mindful.
so mindful of just like people's lives outside of
You are.
what they do with mine. Because, for example, Amanda, my other assistant, she works for OTV now, and I told her, I was like, listen, because she was very busy for a while, which is why I needed another assistant.
Yeah,
And I was like, listen, if I get another assistant, we can just do scheduling, and you can prioritize your other job. Like, I want you to be able to not be stressed.
cool.
You
and
are so considerate.
She was so sweet. Amanda like cried because she felt like she had to choose between me or OTV.
Oh.
And I was like, no, seriously, I'm just gonna be aware of that you're busy, and we could just do scheduling. And then and it worked out perfectly because now she just works with reservations and we're scheduling and like planning trips and stuff for like sponsors and all that. And then
Yeah.
Emily's there,
I'm
which
like,
has
hey.
it's been wonderful. It's been a good system, I think. But
Yeah, and Amanda and I are friends.
Yeah.
Like, we go way back.
Oh,
Like,
nice.
I feel like I owe Amanda like a lifetime, eternity of whatever she needs because she's the reason I'm here in the first place. Like, I remember when like everything worked out family wise. Like, I finally felt like, okay, I'm like free from the shackles of stress. I like sent her this message just being like, you mean so much to me. Like, I don't think you understand how much you changed my life. And I think she's so unaware of it. And I think like sometimes Ray is unaware of it because she's just busy and I'm not very vocal about it. And like Leslie's unaware of it. But like they literally changed my life. I was at the lowest point in my entire life. And like the people around me were the ones that like brought me out of it. And silently, because I like never told people what I was going through. Because like,
Yeah.
oh, I don't want to like make it too personal. Like, blah, blah, blah. And over time, I obviously opened up, but like I was going through it my first year. Like I would not say no to anything because I was like, if I say no, there's someone out there that is willing to do this job. And if I lose this job, like I'm screwed. I don't know what I'm going to do. So I treated it like, I literally treated it like I was a doctor or a nurse, like dealing with lives. And
Like
it's
a
like,
life or death
and
situation.
like
Oh,
I would just be
wow.
like driving to go help with a sponsored stream.
Yeah.
Like,
or like
Wow.
go
it's
pick up a pinata for like a birthday or
yeah, or
something.
like, hey, we have a last minute party. Like,
Picking
can
up
you get us
Mika
a
from the
venue? And
vet.
I'm like, yes, like I absolutely can. Like
You're
anything
so
you need.
intuitive with your bosses.
Yeah.
Like you just know how they work. You effectively communicate with them.
I think my challenge, if we want to start talking about challenges, is like I established myself as like Emily, the personal assistant, the person that like will just do anything you ask her, or like she's the PA, right? And so
Right.
transitioning from like PA stuff to wanting to be taken a little bit more seriously and actually start management, I felt like I needed help or like a push to do that. And that's actually why I ended up joining a company. I could be her PA forever, right? And I probably like I'm down, right?
You guys work so well together because she understands. Yeah.
But here's the thing. One
she's
day
gonna be a CEO of some company and still like helping me with like Mika.
that's the thing. Like one day she's going to move on from what you're doing now.
Nope.
No, it's opposite,
Oh.
bro.
No, it's the
Really?
opposite.
It's the
Yeah.
opposite. I'm pretty locked in with the podcast. I'm locked in with my media company, Hi Studios,
True.
which has a whole team of people over there as well. Like that is my long term, and streaming. Like that this is my long term. I'm good. But I
that's
feel
the
like
thing.
if you wanna I see you becoming an agent. Like Emily has brought me and the girls sponsors
Wow.
and has helped with management. You know, even though I have an agent and a manager, Emily has
And
brought
bodyguard.
in. Yeah, bro.
Wait, what?
Yes, even at meet and greets, Emily would take the
Like,
role of
what's
as
up?
a
You're such a
bodyguard.
small little girl.
No, I would be a
but
terrible
she's
bodyguard.
told people listen, we have somewhere to be. We have to go. And she played that bad guy role, telling people I have to.
Aw.
I had a Reddit thread about me being too mean.
Well, fuck
Nah,
them.
fuck that.
She was
Yeah.
doing
Just
her
because
job.
I was like,
Yeah.
you can't. But
She was doing her job
that's the
because
thing.
Job.
we, as creators, someone's meeting their favorite streamer for the first time, and imagine I was like, I gotta go, and
Yeah.
it's just a bad first impression, and
Yeah.
so having someone when we do have to be somewhere where we're stopped a lot, having someone be able to listen, she's gotta go.
Stop. Yeah.
It helps with that because we'll get stopped every 5 seconds
Oh, I've seen it
Yeah.
at the
at
One
these
Piece.
conventions,
Yeah, the One
and
Piece
as
event.
much as I want to be able to take a pic with everybody and sign everything and leave voice memos for family and friends for them.
Yeah.
It's just unrealistic sometimes.
Yeah.
So
And that was another thing too. Like while I was doing my PA work, I realized how much like managerial tasks I was taking on.
Yeah.
Like I
really
was doing
were.
brand deals. I was like negotiating things. I was, like I said earlier, like playing the therapist. I was like, wait, why am I calling myself a PA all the time? Like I can do more than that. And so
Absolutely.
I went and I joined this company, and honestly, it's been life-changing in the sense of like my confidence has grown, and I'm still learning so much, and I have so much to learn. Like I'm 24, I have a while to go.
you're a little itty bitty baby.
Yeah, but it's been really cool, and it's also really cool to see like what my future looks like in terms of, okay, I know I want to stay with streamers. I know I want to work with women for the most part. And I'm not in any rush to like find those perfect people, because like a Ray comes every once in a lifetime, right?
Oh, I 100% agree. I
Yeah.
haven't met anybody like Ray.
What?
No, like you're just
No.
considering everything that you have. You're so humble
Yeah.
and you care. You genuinely care about the people around you.
I do.
And you don't see that in a lot of people,
I just-
especially in your position of power.
I just
especially.
like, I'm just so hyper aware that I would not have everything I have and would be where I am today without people helping me.
Yeah.
Like I'm so aware of even just like even on stream, like people watching, like that's people watching me. I'm grateful
Yeah.
for that. It's just, I'm literally nothing. I'm just a face.
It's been a really fun journey, and I'm excited for the future in terms of like, who am I going to work with? Or like, what's that going to look like?
Well, just so you know, whatever it is you try to pursue in the future, I'm 100% behind you.
Yeah.
So supportive, whether it's bringing back some game dev stuff,
That's
whether
what I was
it's,
going to
that's
say.
funny.
you know, whether you want to hire me to be your PA.
Oh.
You know what? Fuck it. Let's swap roles.
Dude.
We should do a video like that.
Like swapping for a day.
Yes.
Yeah. And for
That'd
what
be
it's
so fun.
worth, you are so impressive as a human being because everything I just heard right now,
That's
you
really
did
I'm
character,
shocked.
character design, lacrosse, taking care of your family, playing League of Legends. Hey, it's a hard game, so
It is. Like, I'm a
mental.
little nervous to play tonight.
Yeah.
I'm
No,
not
I'm
good.
so nice now. You would not want to play with me when I was 16, but like now I'm like, it's chill.
yeah, we were all shitheads at 16.
Okay. We're gonna swap now to Samson. Thank you so much, Emily.
I know, thank you. You did a good job.
That was great.
That was so good. So, dude, you're so well spoken.
I know you're so well spoken.
It's
Stream more.
crazy.
Stream more.
Come on over.
You were so well spoken. I'm
Samson.
so impressed with you.
Tough act to follow.
No.
Yeah, no, tell me about it.
Actually, though.
So everybody, that was Emily. She's wonderful, right?
What's up, guys?
We have Samson here. He is our editor. He edits
Yes.
all of these podcasts. He's gonna be editing this one as well.
I'm waving to me.
Lisa's the first. Yeah, you literally are waving to yourself.
Yeah.
This is pretty much Lisa's first time meeting you in person.
Yeah.
It's
So-
crazy.
Your work is incredible because you
Thank
do
you.
editing and then you do 3D rendering.
I do editing, visual effects, direction, producing, thumbnails,
He does it
channel
goat.
management,
The goat.
titles. Yeah.
And you've
You're
got
such a
like that
creative guy.
Zoomer brain.
No, I'm 21.
Yeah, no,
I'm a
he's
child.
21?
Yeah.
He's a baby, bro.
I think
Talented.
I was the youngest person to join 100 Thieves back in the day.
You
Yeah.
were. I remember.
Which
Can
is
we
crazy.
talk about, okay, start from the beginning. How did you get
Yeah.
into this? How did
Okay.
you get into 100 Thieves?
So I grew up on the internet, YouTube, TikTok when that became a thing, and I had like not like the best childhood. Like with Emily, like it was, there were some dark times, and
Yeah.
because of
Yeah.
that, I kind of found solace in like movies specifically.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so I wanted to go to film school and be,
Right.
like a director man. And similar to Emily, I also went to film school in LA. It's literally one ranked under USC for film school.
Oh my
So-
God.
She beat me out on that. But I went there for a year, and during that time, I had a TikTok page that got big, and 100 Thieves found me through my TikTok page.
Wait,
Whoa.
what's
Yeah.
the TikTok
Yeah.
page?
It's the one Samson. It would be like 3D renderings.
How did I
Period.
not know this?
Yeah, I started
know,
as
right?
a TikToker. It was.
I knew you did TikTok, but I
Uh-huh.
didn't know you had like an actual page that you were running.
Yeah, I wasn't like doing dances. I was like.
Yeah, I was gonna say, what was your content?
So it was.
Can we pull
like,
it up?
Yeah, it was
Is
like
it possible?
oddly satisfying animations. So during COVID, I wanted to learn Blender. 3D software.
So hard to learn.
I love Blender is my bread and butter. I also make art, like
Wait,
3D
what is
art on
Blender?
the side.
Blender's a 3D rendering application.
So it's like
Oh.
CGI.
Okay.
You make different.
Wait.
So
you're one
those
of these fuckers that
satisfying
make
yeah, like
Yeah.
so that first one you make
That
a
is really
satisfying
satisfying.
dude.
thing, but then you make it slightly unsatisfying so everybody comments about it.
Wait,
So
you're a scumbag.
yeah.
Those are the type of videos that drive me crazy.
Because
where
you watch it again
it's
and then you send it to your
Yeah,
friends.
it's supposed to be really satisfying,
Oh.
but then it messes you up because it doesn't do what you expect it to do.
Yeah. So that was and that was honestly just me trying to learn Blender and learning like
yeah,
different
just trying it out and stuff.
like physics simulations.
What?
that
hated
one
that.
is unwell.
The domino.
The ball not hitting the domino.
Here, yeah, like this.
Yeah, it's a little deranged.
Oh, how dare you?
Yeah, I'm sorry. I apologize to everybody that's
I love
seen
that we're
ever seen a
doing this
TikTok.
because it's showing your true colors.
Okay, my bad.
I'm just kidding.
just wait till we're playing League later.
Wait,
Oh,
no,
no.
please. Yeah,
No,
I'm
I'm
just gonna see
kidding.
how toxic everyone is behind the scenes.
So yeah, that happened, and then 100 Thieves reached out. They wanted me to do their TikToks, and so I did that for a few months, and then they offered me a full-time job. So I
And
dropped
then,
out
what was your first
film
impression
school.
of me? Wait, you dropped out of film school for
yeah
it?
for my
Oh.
job at 100 Thieves.
Mm-hmm.
We lived the same life, and that's
Wow.
where I met Emily, where I met Mauricio, and so
Wait,
my
you met Emily at 100 Thieves?
at 100 Thieves because she was doing PA stuff for like Leslie and
yeah,
Tina.
yeah.
And
Okay, so that was around the same time.
she was coming to the shoots, and then we met, became friends, and started playing League together. And
Oh.
then we became closer friends. And then Leslie had a job that she was like, "Hey, I want somebody to do like my TikToks." So Emily called me up and was like, "Hey, you got hired to do TikToks at 100 Thieves. You want to do this for Leslie?" So I did that for Leslie, and then esports is kind of not doing too well, so they had a bunch of layoffs. And the day that I
It
got
was
laid off,
post-COVID. So
yeah,
during COVID, esports and streamers, everything, content creation obviously got a huge spike and was very successful because everyone in real life is at home, like kids, parents, workers, everyone stuck at home, so everyone's online.
Right.
And so with all these esport companies and brands, they invest a lot because they're seeing so much success. And then after COVID, everyone goes back to real life. And then all of a sudden, all of these companies are going out of business because they invested too much.
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
So-
no.
So they have to do
So
mass
lots
layoffs.
of layoffs.
Oh, that
for a
Yeah.
fucking
lot.
sucks.
Yeah.
Yeah,
really
it was
sad.
like all over the industry.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah, I saw it affected the tech industry greatly.
Luckily, though, a bunch of the people I knew from 100 Thieves that got laid off are all doing much better now. Like they found their place.
That's good. Good to know.
And so that happened, and then I reached out to Mauricio, who I became friends with at 100 Thieves, and he was like, "Hey, you want to edit for valkyrae?" And I
Yeah,
was like,
we were
I-
looking.
To give you my POV of things, one, I was already like pretty tapped in on the talent that was out there because I was managing Ray's YouTube channel, and so I was just kind of like scouting the area. I think I looked through we posted publicly. We were
Yeah.
Mm.
like, "Hey, we're looking for an editor for Team Ray." I think I might have looked through like 200 portfolios, and none of them were like there was like some okay ones. And then literally the timing just worked out perfectly. Samson got laid off, and I was like, "Ray, we need to hire Samson." And
Dude, thank God.
Mind you,
Yeah, it
the
was-
timing worked out perfectly. And mind you, I was dying. I was like, we need somebody who's just like
Wait.
insane.
Didn't you get an offer from another company and then I had to compete with that?
Yeah. So
Right?
when I got laid off, I got a lot of offers, thankfully.
Yeah, you told me. You're like,
It was-
listen,
it was
he's
I
was like,
getting offers.
Yes, and I was like, we need to pick up. And look, I was right. Okay, he's
You
fucking
were
good.
You're
right.
right.
He's
Mauricio,
fucking
you're
good.
the goat. I love
Literally-
you,
No,
man.
you're the goat.
No, you're the goat. Right?
But like,
Hey,
no, you're the
goat.
goat.
Oh,
Lisa.
thanks, guys.
Samson's
You
made
guys
my
are
life. I
dope.
mean, I'll give you your roses, bro. Like, he's made my life so much easier, and I tell him this all the time because he's the kind of guy where not only is he so talented at such a young age, but anything you throw at him, he will not only give you this super premium product immediately, like frame one, but in an insanely fast turnaround time. I don't know how he does it,
Yeah.
and it's like consistent,
Oh.
like consistently quality.
You
It's crazy.
are consistent.
Thank you.
Yeah,
And,
and
it is
so
something.
It's because my mother is Asian and drilled that into me from it.
Samson is
Mom.
also half German, half Filipino.
We're definitely like related.
We are
somehow.
totally related.
we
He's
have the
like a
same-
younger brother at this point.
Yeah.
yeah, and so it's like he's definitely like our secret weapon at this point. I mean, like all the polish you see even on this podcast when it comes to like the thumbnails or like the outro when like you guys walk off the set. Like I don't know if you've seen it, but like
I've seen
like
it.
you don't just walk off the set. Like the set like disappears behind you. Like all that shit is Samson. He just does that shit in his sleep. Like he just like has that in his
People
back
have
pocket.
noticed.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
people always praise your editing, and in the comment sections, comment
section.
comment.
Comments.
In my head, it sounds like I'm saying comet.
Guys, comment down below.
Comment.
Comment down below if you think I said comment or comment.
So yeah, I mean, like throughout our time working together, people have sometimes assumed that I'm like editing shit, and I can never take credit for that because you put me in editing software, I'm like a 3-year-old trying to like throw up all over himself. But like Samson is just like the go. Whenever you see something sparkly or flashy or smooth, it's this guy's work right here.
So, did you expect this? Like, how did this happen when you got the message from Mauricio? Oh, wait, I want to know your first impression of me as well.
Oh, I was terrified. Dude,
Okay, I come off as bitchy, right?
No, you don't come off as bitchy. You come off as like
My resting face.
like secluded. So I don't know if you remember, it was the 100 Thieves Attack on Titan merch
Yes, I remember it.
drop.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, this is because a big philosophy of mine is to just go up and talk to people, be genuine. And that's how like I got almost all of my jobs, by like just talking to Mauricio, talking to Emily, becoming friends.
Yeah, connections. It's
And
very
so,
important.
yeah, and so I was like, I need to go talk to Ray, just like, you know, show face, be nice, like have her know who I am. And I walked up to go talk to you and somebody stopped me and was like, Ray's having her alone time right now.
Was it Emily?
It wasn't Emily. I forget who it was. It was
Bodyguard Emily.
Samson's
Bodyguard
the
Emily.
one that started that Reddit thread.
no.
Damn, that's your off right here.
I am.
Someone
I love Emily.
stopped
Yeah.
you?
Someone stopped me. We are that. We'll talk about that later.
Okay.
We're like
Okay.
kind of content offs, but I was like, I'm gonna go say hi anyways. I was 18, like trying to be like a spunky kid. So I go up and I'm like, hi, I'm Samson. Good to meet you. And then you honestly were just so nice. I was scared, and then you like looked at me and you're like, hi, great to meet you. And I was like, you know what? I don't know why I was scared.
I understand the value of first impressions, and it's something that I fear, especially when it comes to conventions, meeting new people and meeting fans and people in the space as well for the first time. That's how they're gonna perceive you.
Oh yeah.
So even if I'm feeling really shitty, if I'm like feeling bad, I just try to remember like when I'm meeting someone, that's how they're gonna perceive me. And so I always want to make sure I come because I feel like I just look bitchy.
No,
My resting face.
no.
Well, it's because like on camera, I try to like smile more, but like, bro, at home, I'm like this.
Okay, maybe I wouldn't have said hi.
You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
if I'm like on a bus or something, I just look so unapproachable. I feel like.
Yeah.
But anyways, I'm glad you had a good first impression.
I did. I had a good first impression, and then I also don't know if you remember. I was at, I think it was one of Leslie's parties, and you randomly just like came up to me and gave me a hug and were like, "How the fuck are you so talented?" And I was like, firstly, oh my god, you remember me. Secondly, you know like my work. That's really cool. And so that's part of the reasons why I was like very willing to just DM Mauricio. And I don't know if you knew this. The day that I got laid off, I was editing a video for you. I was editing the video.
The same day?
I was actually editing the video before I got laid off, technically.
Question.
Yes.
So when you were deciding between the other offers and me, what was it that was more appealing about working with us?
So the other offers were from primarily other esports orgs.
Like companies.
Companies.
Yeah.
I think it was like FlyQuest. I'm actually contracted with Riot Games right now as an editor.
And for the record, I don't gatekeep any of my employees.
No, Ray's the best.
I definitely encourage, like, if you have time, as long as I'm paying for the priority.
You are always the first
yes,
priority. That's
I
the thing.
pay really well and make sure that, like, if I have a request or we have a job to do, it's a priority. But if you have time, help yourself. Like, go out, work, make money, get your bag.
That was the reason. Like a big thing with contracts is an exclusivity clause.
Yeah.
Where you can only work for somebody
for these companies,
and
really.
not other people that are like in competing spaces. So if I were to sign to FlyQuest, which is an esports org, one of the offers I got, I wouldn't be able to do any outside work for any other esports orgs.
Yeah.
And I'm like, nowadays, constantly doing like a one-off video here for 100 Thieves still, for Cloud9, for,
See,
whoever.
if you need someone to like edit and stuff, we got a guy
Yay.
for Tiny Protectors.
Oh yeah,
Hell yeah.
absolutely.
No, I love, and also Hi Studios, I'm so excited for that because it's like, I've always loved like movies and anime, and it's like all coming together.
It really is.
So
yeah.
I'm
Dude,
excited.
that promo clip went so hard
Thank
for
you,
no
yeah.
reason.
He's the one that made the promo
Yeah.
clip. If
So,
you
like-
haven't seen it.
Your team, like Kai and them, like approached me, and they were like with like a day notice. They were like, "Hey, can we get a promo clip for like the announcement of Hi Studios?" I was like, "There's no video content. All we have is like a few stills from a photo shoot." And I was like, "If anybody can turn something out of nothing, it's Samson." So I
And
like
you did. It
threw it
was
at
just
Samson.
photos, but you
Thank
made it into a video.
Yeah, like a fully animated thing, and like now it's like plastered all over the front. It's like the official like brand like promo for it. It was crazy.
Well, I try and keep that in mind because growing up on the internet, a lot of like the huge numbers kind of lose their value. But I started on my TikTok and I was like, holy shit, 10,000 people watch this. That's
Yeah.
like more than can
That's a
fit in the
lot of
stadium.
people.
And I try and keep that in mind, especially when I'm working on other people's content, because like what I put forward is what like your face is, like your brand, especially when you're launching something new. So I was like, okay, I need to make this like
that hit.
good. I need to hit this. And like with Emily, it feels like life or death because like
There's just a lot of people competing in the space.
there's a lot of people competing. Back like in Texas, which is where I'm from, I wasn't like doing the best mental health wise, and like I moved to LA, everything's so much better, and I feel like if I lose this, like I'm fucked.
Oh, you're gonna go back.
If I go back, I'm fucked. So it's like it feels like I need to, like with Emily, if there's 4 hours to do something, I'm gonna spend those 4 hours like giving it 150%, trying to do everything I can to make it like the best possible thing with like all the experience I have making videos, with, you know, watching YouTube videos. I don't think I've like have a day that I remember that I haven't watched a YouTube video in my entire life.
really?
Dude, that's so Zoomer pilled. Holy shit.
Like,
Every single
I
day.
cannot remember a day in my life where I haven't watched a YouTube video.
To Ray and Lisa, do you guys remember the world before YouTube?
Because YouTube came out,
I do.
what?
I do.
I do
I
also.
do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was like 5 when YouTube dropped.
Dude.
Because it was
So it
08,
was like-
right?
It was ingrained in
07?
your life.
Yeah,
at a
that's
young
crazy.
age.
That's what I mean. Because I found
Yeah.
solace in like watching Jacksepticeye and like watching PewDiePie, even like Smosh, and all of those guys kind of taught me what like a good video is, or like why
What's
people watch videos,
entertaining,
what's
what
entertaining.
people like to see.
And that's why I love it so much. Like it doesn't feel like work when I'm doing it, which is why I
Aw,
kind of
that's
try
awesome.
so
you love
hard.
what you do.
I love what I do. I love sitting in my, because I am extremely introverted. I love sitting in my little like cave in my desk.
I
and,
don't
like,
think anybody could be as good at what you do, doing what you do, if they didn't truly love that shit. Like
Yeah.
because you have to grind to
I
do
have
the
an
shit you do.
extremely obsessive personality as well. So when I first got into editing, I would legitimately just sit on my like little like MacBook with like processing 2 frames a second, and I would sit there for like 14 hours straight.
Wow.
And even today, when I have a project that's coming up and there's like a super tight deadline, I'll like legitimately wake up in the morning, sit at my PC, blink, and then it's 3 a.m. And I'm like, oh shit, I didn't eat or drink anything or use the bathroom. I'm gonna go do all of that, and then I just like fucking collapse. But it's, I love it.
I'm glad.
Yeah.
So what would be your best advice for someone out there that's just like you, loves editing, wants
Yeah.
to like find a way to make it a career? Because I
Yeah.
see there's so many people I see on TikTok and YouTube that are trying to become editors, but I feel like the best way to make it a career is like you do it full time for
Exactly.
somebody, like in whether it's a company or a creator or something.
I think, the biggest thing would be making friends. Like networking is dead, in my opinion. Just make
Oh.
friends.
Okay.
Don't network.
Oh,
Just
that's
be
yeah,
kind to
advice.
people.
No, you're kind of spitting with that because like
yeah,
I feel like now more than ever, at least maybe it's just LA space, but like people can
Yeah, especially in
smell
LA.
from a mile away when you're simply approaching them just to make a
It's a
connection.
vibe thing.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
Versus
Yeah, I
like
know
Yeah.
you definitely can tell. Like if somebody's coming up to you and they want something from you,
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
completely different than like me just going up to say hi and like check how you're doing at the Attack on Titan
Yeah.
shoot.
It's definitely a connection built over time.
yeah.
You know, because a lot of times you could tell when someone's just trying to use you for something, they
Yeah.
ask right away.
Yeah.
Exactly.
100%. You can feel it. A lot of transactional energy. from
Yeah.
certain people.
The biggest thing is when, for example, if I'm at a convention, there's a lot of streamers, creators, businesses, brands, and they'll like be like, "Hey, here's our product. Could you want to try it? Here it is." And it's like, you could have said hi first.
Yeah.
You know? So-
Yeah, there's
That's
so
some
much of
solid
that.
advice.
Here, hold our
It is
product.
good
Let's take a
advice.
picture.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's great advice.
So, every job that I can think of has come to me because, I mean, I guess except for 100 Thieves, which I got through like posting my own TikToks.
Yeah.
So that I guess those would be the two parts of the advice is to get really fucking good at what you do. Like, do not stop until you know that you're like better than all the people like you see online, and then post it, and then like try and get people to see it.
Yeah.
And then once you get that little nudge in the door, because you need all of that just to get your foot in the door,
Yeah. a lot of
be
work.
very kind, be very genuine. Don't expect anything from anybody.
Yeah. Don't expect anything.
Just be kind and make friends. And every job I have from that point forward, from 100 Thieves, I have gotten because I was friends with somebody and we like played League together, and then they like
Yeah.
down the line
No.
wanted somebody to edit something, you know?
Yeah, that's I mean that's the same. Like the amount of times that I've just gotten opportunities simply because somebody just like enjoyed like my presence.
Yeah.
Like people want to work with people that they like being around.
The
You can be the
vibe
best at your
factor.
job.
Yeah.
But like if you're an asshole, then like no one's gonna want to work with you, you know? So
You need both.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's my, I guess, biggest piece of advice is to work really hard and be even more genuine than like how hard you work.
wow.
Because then people will just want to work with you, and then
So
things
much
fall into
wisdom.
place.
From
Yeah.
somebody who's 21.
so
I know,
wise and
right?
so
I had to
young.
grow up really early, man. I'm not gonna get into the drama, but
Do you have any questions?
yeah,
I feel like
Lisa-
I've
great to meet you, by the
Oh
way.
yeah, good to meet you too.
Yeah, just take away because I do feel like I'm asking all the questions.
Yeah.
And so if you have any,
I wanted to ask something. What was the craziest thing that you had to cut from? Are we
This
allowed to talk
podcast?
about that?
Dude,
yeah.
it's so
are we-
juicy.
Well,
Holy
I'm gonna have to bleep this too.
Okay,
but
okay, never mind, never mind.
That's
you can
so
say it and then
funny.
bleep it. I mean, you can say it and then bleep it.
Okay, so
Okay.
full honesty, I wanted to keep this part in so bad when you,
bruh.
but then people will know what we're
people
talking
know
about.
Okay.
we're
Yeah,
talking
so this
never
that's why I'm
mind.
like we have to cut this.
you.
I also cut you saying that you because I felt like that would have been a bad
yeah.
look.
Yeah, I'm glad you did because we gotta cut all of them.
Yeah, all of them.
Yeah.
Okay,
good
and
call.
we're back. So that's probably the
Okay.
craziest thing I've had to cut.
I guess you already talked about all the other streamers and YouTubers that you've
Yeah,
worked with.
I work with everybody. I'm editing a video for ZHC right now.
Yeah.
I just really like editing and doing what I do, and I love that I can do it. So I just,
And you love your team too, because all of you are gonna start playing League together, right?
oh yeah,
Yeah, today will be
talking-
the first day we do play League together, and I literally just started playing 2 days ago, so I'm a little worried, and I'm so new, and I'm gonna throw your games. I said it, and don't get mad at me.
don't worry. Everybody already throws my games.
Wait, what? Okay, so the standard's low.
Okay, is this your guys' first time just doing an activity together, like gaming, outside of work, or
Outside of work for sure.
Okay.
Because most of the time, like we're traveling. Like sometimes I'll bring Mauricio with me on a trip so we can film whatever it is.
Or like
Right.
BlizzCon. or
Yeah,
like-
yeah, like BTS
I
stuff. Or
see.
sometimes Emily come when we need like extra like hands-on help and stuff. So this is the first time. Is this your first podcast?
yeah.
Have you been on podcasts before?
I've done a couple interviews for just like random YouTube channels that have like reached out and they're like, hey, can we interview you? And I was like, sure. But this is my first, I guess, like bigger podcast. Yeah.
Oh my
If
god.
anyone wants to have me on a podcast.
Is there anything else that you want to do? Because right now you do the 3D rendering, you do the editing and cutting and whatnot. You pretty much got everything under your belt right now and you don't want to start streaming or anything like Emily?
You stream sometimes.
Oh wait, you stream?
So that's the thing. I had like a creator arc when I was doing like TikToks, because on my TikTok page I would stream and I wouldn't like get crazy numbers, but it would be like, like 100 or so average viewers.
Yeah.
And it was fun. It was just really exhausting.
I could imagine.
And
Very time consuming.
it's time consuming.
Time-consuming.
And I also don't really know what I could stream, because I'm like
League.
I'm good at League, but I'm not like crazy good. Like I'm Emerald, so it's not like I'm insane, but I'm not like really bad, and I don't think I'd be like funny enough to like have people watch. Just,
no,
like,
you're so
because of that.
well spoken right now. Like it's just rolling out of your mouth.
Halt.
Halt.
I genuinely believe that there's an audience for everybody. There's a ton of people that have a large audience that they're not pro players. And there's a lot of people that prefer like the ASMR. You have a very nice radio voice.
Thank
You
you.
have a very
Oh.
nice voice. People just love to listen. And what do you mean? Emerald is high rank. Like, you know what you're doing. A lot of people love
Yeah.
League. A lot of people just like to hang out. Like, even if I were to stream League for the first time, and I have before, like a little bit of League, people just love seeing me fail. Like, it's funny watching me.
That's true.
I think that's why I did so well with Fortnite, is because I wasn't a pro, but I had really good pop-off moments.
Oh yeah.
I had like sniper trick shots sometimes.
Yeah.
And then I'd have really bad fails that were funny, like I'd fall off a cliff and game and get second place or something. That has happened. It was very traumatic. But people love to just like hang out and feel like there's someone there, someone
Yeah.
to talk to. Somebody that's an aspiring editor. You probably definitely have like editor fans for sure, because you had such a journey and you're so young too.
I didn't know that you were 21.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not
Yeah.
that
I'm like,
I
I
thought you
just
were like 27.
yeah.
Like you're so overqualified. No, you're so overqualified
Overqualified.
for
I try
all
my
the
best.
things that you
Yeah.
do, and your turnaround time is actually
Yeah.
insane for when you submit a video. Like when I asked you to cut certain things out, you submitted it in like the very same hour.
Yeah. I'll be like the
Yeah, it's
same
insane.
morning, like, hey, can I get a social cut for this? And he'll have it in like 30 minutes.
Well,
Yeah.
for reference, the first editing job I got was in high school, editing for a channel called Fail Whale 34, doing reaction videos. And no hate to him, it was a pretty small channel. It was like 100-something thousand subs, and I was getting paid $20 a video. Which
$20 is criminal.
that's
Wait,
what I
how
mean.
long were the videos?
They were, so I would cut down like a reaction to a TV show. He reacted to a lot of like Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
Yeah.
And so it'd be like 45 minutes, and I would cut that down to like a 10-minute, 15-minute reaction montage.
$20 is criminal.
And so
Yeah.
for me, my little like 15-year-old brain was like, in order to make this worth it,
15.
I need to edit this video in under an hour so that I would be getting paid $20 an hour. I was boy mathing it.
Ah, that makes sense why you would like, so it feels worth it to you.
Exactly. So I got
So you are making $20 for that hour of
Yeah.
work. And so that's why you sped run it.
So I got really good at
Oh.
editing very quickly
Quickly.
because like it was out of necessity, because like I didn't want to be getting paid $20
$20
for
to
like 10
edit.
hours of
Yeah.
editing. So I have my own
Incredible.
like
I didn't
custom
think about that.
keyboard shortcut layout where I'm like, it's so gamer coded. I like move the timeline with WASD,
Dude.
and
Wait.
I like and like I'll move and cut like at the same time. So like when people watch me edit, they're like, "Are you typing like a essay right now?" And I'm
That's-
like, "No, I'm just like
That's honestly
moving
so
around."
beast. I love that.
Wait, I have a question about like, so you have all these skills under your belt. Do you like learn it from like YouTube? Do you take like Skillshare classes? Like, how do you know
How are you
how
so
to do so
talented?
much? Yeah.
Yeah,
At
is it all
such a young
self-taught? Like,
age.
what do you?
Yeah, I mean, again, I think a lot of it comes from like learning by doing and being like very obsessive with it. But YouTube is the best resource
I see.
for anybody trying to learn anything. Like
The internet
Yeah.
is a powerful tool.
it is, I don't
Yeah.
like, there are entire Harvard courses just uploaded for free on YouTube. Like
Oh.
if you want to learn anything, you could go to YouTube and learn it if you like try hard enough. I've sat through days worth, weeks worth of tutorials on like how to edit, how to, cut, especially when I was learning Blender.
Oh God, Blender's such a bitch to learn.
I love Blender though. I love Blender.
I had to learn Nomad Sculpt. Have you heard of that?
No,
Application.
no.
It's on the iPad, so
Okay.
it's very easy to learn
Mhm.
as a like use the interface is super easily digestible. But Blender, when I was trying to learn that, it's just so many different things to do, like little ticks and to put it in like number. I was just like, no, absolutely not.
It's very overwhelming, but like for me, it was the more time I spend literally just looking at the screen. I don't even need to be doing anything. Like if I'm just clicking around in the program, the more it starts to make sense.
You have a lot of discipline then.
Yeah.
A lot of
The
discipline to
moment I
learn.
click on something on the screen, I like see what it does, I forget. Like
I short circuited trying to learn Blender. I gotta say.
Yeah. I mean, I did too, honestly, a couple times. I'm not like superhuman. I'm just a guy.
You
and like,
are. You're 21 and you know all this.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're gonna be like editing like movies when you're like 25, bro.
Yeah.
I also do movies and TV shows.
Oh, you
right
do?
now.
Wait.
Yeah, I edit and do visual effects. I did my first feature film a couple weeks ago.
Oh, that was
Okay.
the first
That
one.
was the first
Can you
one.
talk about it?
I
Yeah.
didn't edit it. I visual effects supervised
Okay.
it.
Okay.
So
Supervised it.
I did a bunch of cool VFX shots. It's like a classic slasher horror movie,
Nice.
and like horror visual effects are so much fun because you get to like, I don't know, make like a giant blood explosion and like you have like somebody's head like flying off.
Is there a medium that you don't particularly like working in, or media like, or genre? Because you say you really like the gore and.
I mean, I don't like the gore.
Oh, okay.
I like doing fun visual effects and like being able to play around in a software.
Right.
Where like they're like, hey, there's this shot, have fun.
Okay.
One of the most fun projects I had was a music video for FlyQuest, and it was like meant to be bad, but like in a good way. So it was like kind of trolly and like intentionally doing like leaving the green screen unkeyed and then like masking around it, but then like having a giant explosion in the background.
Oh.
And those kind of projects, like the movie I worked on, where they're like, do your thing. Like we know you can like do good stuff, just make whatever. And that's a lot of fun, just like having the freedom to go for it. Like with the Hi Studios announcement, I was like,
Aw.
how do I make this look
As cool as possible.
Exactly. And I love making cool stuff. Like all of it is worth it. All the 20 hours sitting at my computer is worth it if I at the end can look at the screen and I'm like, this is sick. You know?
Nice.
So what do you have any like big goals in the future? Like, do you have any big dreams? Where do you see your career going, or would you like it to
Yeah.
go?
I honestly don't know. I like I always just wanted to get here. My end goal was always to be able to like
Comfortable.
live independently from my like home
Yeah.
life and like have my own life completely separate so I can like be my own person. And I like didn't expect to achieve that. Fun fact, I know how to make like a bunch of like cocktails and like drinks because I thought I was going I planned on being
gonna
a
be a
bartender.
bartender.
I planned on going to film school and then struggling for like 5 years as a bartender trying to make it.
You would make a lot of tips doing that.
You would,
Yeah.
especially in Vegas, especially you worked in like
That's
the gay
what I
bars.
mean. I heard it's like, you know, it's a good gig. So I was like, you know what, might as well try it while I'm trying to do this movie thing. So I guess, yeah, maybe doing
You
like
would
a
have made
feature,
it,
doing doing some sort in the actual Hollywood industry. I had that choice as well after 100 Thieves, where I could have gone more into. I think I was talking with, I believe, to like work as like an assistant editor. I think.
Wait.
Oh.
And you
But-
picked us?
So the thing is, editors don't get paid for shit.
Yeah.
In traditional Hollywood,
Wait, how much would an editor get paid?
it was like 50
50.
grand a year.
Also,
Oh.
correct me if I'm wrong, but like, there's no like organizing for editors. Like, there's
There
no, like,
there is an editors guild, like a union, but if I
Aw.
wanted to do more visual effects work, which is like, I guess my passion, there is no visual effects union.
That's what you were telling me
see.
about. Yeah.
And I feel like us working together has allowed you to have more opportunities,
yeah.
more doors have opened.
Yeah. Exactly,
So
yeah.
you rather work with specific creators rather than like house brands.
And
Well, yeah.
I mean,
frankly,
I'm paying this bitch so well.
no, I am
yeah,
so
yeah,
happy
no.
with Ray's pay.
Yeah. I mean, it's definitely like I always want my employees to be happy and comfortable with what they're getting paid. And I understand if there's another company or a creator that wants to pay more for them.
Yeah.
Like we can discuss it and I will keep bidding, or we can like discuss, or you can just move on. Whatever you want to do, whatever makes you happy.
Yeah.
So just don't feel restricted.
I feel
but
like
get paid what you're worth.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
feel like a lot of artists don't know that because a lot of artists
Oh,
in my
yeah,
field,
dude.
they're like, I want to work for Disney, I want to work for like Nickelodeon. I don't know if that's still a thing, but I've never heard someone saying I want to work for a specific creator.
Yeah.
So that's interesting. I feel like that's also
It's
pretty
probably
new.
for creative freedom
Frankly,
as well.
Yeah.
yes. And nowadays, there's like kind of the illusion of security if you work at like a bigger company, but I think that's kind of
Yeah,
dead
it's-
now. Like
for
Whoa.
sure.
a bunch
Really?
of
We've
bigger
seen
companies.
like so many like layoffs.
Yeah.
We've seen like, I mean, like if you go work
Oh.
for like a Disney or a Sony or something, it's like say goodbye to like your like paid time off or like
Exactly,
whatever. It's like
yeah.
you only get
Wow.
like I mean, working for someone like Ray. I mean, obviously it's finding the right creator, but it's like Ray will be understanding if he needs to take a week
Yeah.
off because
Oh,
he's sick or something.
And-
You know, it's like
and also-
There's been a time where you were sick, and I'm like, yeah, take it easy, man.
Yeah, no, I was dying with COVID like a half a year ago, but that was one of the biggest things. And also just like your personality, you're very kind. You're very like, I looked at Ray and I was like, it would be sick to have her as a boss, you know?
Oh, you manifested, Ray.
Let's go.
Shout out.
That's
Shout out
crazy.
my second cousin.
I mean, I mean, honestly, it's thanks to Mauricio because like I just trust you so much, and the way he was vouching for you was
I love you.
I was like, I don't even need to meet the guy. We don't need to talk in person. Just hire him. Like that's all good. Like you trust him, I trust him, kind of
I
thing.
do think like one of my superpowers is being able to kind of like vet talent and kind
Yeah.
of like see not only if they would mesh well personality wise, but really just like see what they bring to the table. And so when I said at the top of this episode, I was like, I feel like I've kind of handpicked like the Avengers of like Team Ray at this point. Like there was early conversations that Emily and I were having where she was like, I kind of want to work with Ray more. And I was like, yes, like we need to
Hell
make
yeah.
this happen
We
because
need you.
and now, I mean, and sure enough, like
Please.
looking backwards, it's like this team works so well and everything's so much more smooth with all of us kind of like working together. So
It is also just a really good environment. And your, I guess, style of like being a boss inspires a lot of loyalty. Because like
yes,
I
it's so
have,
true.
We talked about the high highs and the low lows.
Yeah.
Did I ask you that?
I don't think so.
What's a good way to round it off? Okay.
I don't think you asked about the high
okay.
highs and the
Um.
hi.
All right. Hi.
Hi.
What is like a really low point for your job, you think? Like what is a really negative thing about it? Like the most negative thing you can think of. Like what's something tough about it?
Yeah, I guess it would have to be the competition.
Oh yeah. Do
'Cause
you have a
they're-
fear that you're gonna be
Oh,
replaced?
100. Every day I wake up. Remember when you were like,
Every day?
no, I'm actually have like diagnosed anxiety and I'm
Oh,
extremely
poor
anxious.
baby.
You don't get to that level of like
That's why I like
Autistic
work so hard.
success.
Like when
Oh wow.
when I'm working, I feel like I am. So whenever I'm not working, it kind of feels like I'm being like chased by something, like that, like feeling. And
Dude, there was a period where I wasn't making content as much as you expected me to.
yeah,
And Samson was like, please, great, I've got some video ideas. Like, hey, when are we gonna do that apartment tour? Like, come on. So I'm so
yeah.
sorry, that probably was stressful for you.
Don't worry at all. It's stressful because I'm like, I feel like I'm being like, if I'm not doing something, I'm not providing any value, and I'm like not worth being employed.
You place your
No,
value
we-
on how productive you are.
Exactly.
No, no,
Yeah.
I feel like that's something we all do that.
I pay Samson to be like essentially on call, like just available when we need help. And
Yeah.
so you're getting paid constantly.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Thank you, by the way.
So, wow,
That's-
you're just stressed.
I am always stressed. But when I'm working, that feeling goes away for a little bit. And so that's why I'm like
more work.
constantly
Yeah.
working.
What do you do when you're not working? Do you even have time?
I play League
Yeah.
a lot.
Oh my God, all of you and your
Frankly.
Why don't
league.
you do league videos?
Actually,
I bet you could commentate and upload some league videos for
like
fun.
what I was gonna say is I did have an idea for like a stream I could do, which is Samson does your visual effects. So people who would like want to have a visual effects shot for like their video, or like an aspiring editor that wants to learn how to do a specific shot, I would have like a Google Drive and they could upload all the assets, and then I'll do the shot for them live on stream,
that's great.
and then send them the final product, and they could like watch it and have like a custom tutorial on like how to do it, as well as like, you know, the finished product of
That's a great idea, I think.
I feel like you
but-
could also easily do edited tutorials.
Yeah.
You were having
He's-
clips on Twitter.
That's the thing.
He's done some
I
of
did
those, yeah.
do
Why
editing
didn't,
tutorials
did you
on Twitter.
upload that to YouTube?
No.
You
Why
should
would
have, dude.
uplo-
You totally should
I was
have.
wondering that.
Why would you upload it
He
to X,
would
the
make
everything app?
These Twitter videos of tutorials on how to edit this. and they're really good and they're really edited, but he only posted them on Twitter. And
what?
I was thinking, I was
feel
like,
like Twitter is just not.
Well, it was because that's where I
because people can't
found.
scroll. Like they're not gonna
Yeah.
be able to see that as easily as if they could search for it on YouTube.
It's where I found, I guess, an audience. I guess even like though it's very small, I have like 5,000 followers, but of those people, I feel like they would have gotten the most out of it.
For the record, 5,000 people is a lot of people.
It is a lot of
especially
people.
in a space where you're not seen. I feel like because you're behind the scenes a
Yeah,
lot,
yeah.
that means those 5,000 people know of your talent and follow you because they think you're talented and are worth following, right?
Yeah.
So I just, you should upload those videos to YouTube. I'm
I
gonna make
actually-
sure you do it. You know what? I'm not uploading another video until you upload those videos to a YouTube channel.
I
Thank you
have
so
like
much.
a dream of doing YouTube videos though, and I want to do like highly produced movie content instead
You
of
need
like
an
tutorials.
actress.
Hey, I could be down, but like, you know, I love documentaries, I love video essays, and I like wanted to do stuff like that, but that just takes, like I started working on one, but it just takes so much time. I'm like 2 years into it and I'm like not even halfway done. So I'm like,
Hey, you're halfway there. You
Yeah.
know what? Now that I know all this, I'm gonna hold you accountable. I'm gonna
God damn it.
randomly message you at like 4 a.m. and be like, "How's that video coming?"
and I'm
along?"
gonna be like, why'd you int my lane in League?
I'm gonna be like, "You're fired." Just kidding. Anyways, thank you so much,
course,
Samson.
of course.
Thank
Our
you.
editor, everybody. We're definitely surrounded by so much talent.
I
This
know,
is
right?
incredible.
Stop.
We're gonna swap you and Mauricio,
Yes,
Yes.
I'm gonna move from this chair to
Yes.
that chair.
and
Tag team.
yeah, it's time to meet the producer of the
Yes.
show. People have been loving your reactions.
People love you so much. It's like in the top comments. Like your
that's so
reactions are
sweet.
so relatable and
This
funny.
Hi.
is Mauricio, aka March. I still toggle between calling you March
Yeah.
or Mauricio all the time.
Yeah, I mean, you can call me Mauricio. You know me long enough. I feel like it's kind of it's weird when you say March. Honestly,
Yeah.
I'm used to hearing Mauricio out of your mouth. So
Mauricio.
yeah,
How long have you guys known each other?
Yeah, let's
let's start from the
let's
beginning.
start from the beginning. So yes, who, what, when, where, why? How did you get to 100 Thieves? How
This is
did
so
you get
cute, by the way.
into producing and stuff? The whole
Yeah, so I've actually spoken about this at length on some other podcasts before, and like I've done some interviews. But like, so like to go way back, I mean, this is gonna be like another hour if I talk about the entire journey. But I can talk about like how we know each other. So
Yeah.
basically,
well, start from when you joined 100 Thieves.
okay, so kind of to like Samson's point about like being friends with people and getting opportunities that way just by like being genuine. My best friend and roommate, who still is like the director of brand at 100 Thieves, he initially when he like was starting
Gabe.
100 T, yeah, Gabe.
Gabe.
When he was starting 100 Thieves with Nate Shot, he like approached me and was like, "Yo, you do like live streaming and stuff," because that's what I was doing before 100 T. He's like, "We need somebody to build out like our content arm of streaming," and so he pinged me to do that, and that's kind of how I got my start at 100 T. Fast forward like through COVID and like my tenure there and like getting like promoted a bit there, I actually like helped launch their podcast, The Courage Nate Shot Show, which is where like my background in podcasting started. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Produced that.
Yeah, with Wex. I worked
Got
right
it,
under
got
him.
it,
Yeah,
with Wex,
he
okay.
produced it, and I was like PAing with him, but I learned a lot on that set, and so like I have a lot of like my DNA in that show too. But actually, that's kind of when I met you originally. I don't know if you remember, because I was like, I'm a pretty like shy and like insecure person, a lot of self doubt, a lot of times, especially in those spaces where I'm still like learning. And like back then, it was like I was kind of just like another production person, faceless, and then there was these huge creators that we were surrounded by, so I was always like a little intimidated. But you used to live with Nate Shot, where we used to build that podcast in your living room.
Yep.
Yeah, and then there was one day where you weren't on the episode or anything. I was just in the living room, building the podcast set, and you were letting Mika out to go pee.
Yeah.
And I was just like, "Oh, hey, what's up?" Like we just like I awkwardly said hello and like fumbled through like an introduction and then like went back about my business. But that was the first time we like technically met.
Yeah.
But so
The first content house for 100 Thieves.
Yeah.
I lived there with Courage and Matt.
and Brooke.
And Brooke. Brooke
Yes.
moved in later.
Yes,
Yeah.
that's true.
Yeah.
Oh man, that was like
So
a
long
lifetime ago. Holy
Yeah.
shit.
What was your first impression of Ray?
Oh, she seemed really nice. I'm just really shy, so I was like,
Yeah.
yeah. But you seemed like really friendly, and
I was
also,
like, yeah, that's the tech guy.
Aw.
yeah,
Yeah, he
yeah,
does tech stuff.
yeah. And so like, but then so it wouldn't be till like a year after that introduction that we would actually work together. And a lot of people like in the Ray universe know kind of the lore, but to kind of give the abridged version is like you did a music video
Which
with
one?
Machine Gun Kelly and
Oh.
and
Okay. Yeah, so Corpse asked me to be pretty much him in his collab music video with Machine Gun Kelly.
right.
And at the time, I was working a lot more with Gabe.
Yeah.
And Mauricio came to help film
Yeah.
BTS.
This is all documented. It's still on your YouTube channel.
Yeah, I have a video of BTS.
and
over
so-
there.
wow, I have to see that video of you with Machine Gun Kelly.
Oh, he's
Yeah.
so tall. I look like a shrimp.
Yeah, he's very tall.
It's
But
awesome.
but basically, like Gabe, who was my roommate at the time, he was about to go vlog with Ray because this all happened really quickly. Like
Yeah, very
Corpse-
last minute.
Yeah, Corpse like asked her to like play him in the music video with like a 24-hour notice, and she's like, "I want to vlog the experience." Because like back then, like you being in a music video, I think it was your first one.
It was-
like it was a big deal.
It was insane,
Yeah.
especially because Corpse as well, he was blowing up. Because
Yeah.
his, was this during COVID, before COVID?
It was at the
At the
end of COVID because we
at
were
the
all
tail
still
end.
masked up and
Yeah.
shit.
It
Yeah,
was the
Okay.
tail end of COVID, and a lot of his songs were going viral on TikTok.
yeah,
I remember that.
Mm-hmm.
The
Yeah.
E-Girl song, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
And so, so she asked Gabe to like help vlog, and then Gabe approached me and was like, "Yo, we need like an extra set of hands. Like, also if you want to like shoot some BTS." So my thing was like, I was gonna come and like drive while he vlogged, but I was like, I want to make myself more useful than just driving. So I was like, oh, I'll tell her that I can take some photos too, take like some BTS
Yeah.
photos and shit. So I was just on there like, that was the first time Ray and I really worked together. We like got a lot of good content, made a really dope video out of it. And then kind of just over time, like Ray started pinging me and Gabe to be kind of like her like go-to content
Tech,
team. Yeah.
Photos. And then Gabe started getting promoted. He kept getting
Yeah.
promoted in Hunt Thieves.
Yeah.
So it became busier and busier, and so I would start to rely on Mauricio
Yeah.
more for
Yeah.
a bunch of these.
Eventually it
projects and
kind of just
stuff.
like became like Ray and I just like, you know, she would ping me directly before she would ping Gabe, and then Gabe would like bring me along. But then eventually Ray just kind of started going to me as like she needed more and more help with stuff. And then like
he does everything. Like, anytime I needed like help with my PC, Mauricio can fix it. I need a photographer. I need BTS in another state. He'll fly with me.
So
Yeah.
Gabe is who worked with you first, and then he
Well,
introduced Mauricio.
yeah, more. He still worked for 100 Thieves.
Oh,
Yeah.
I see.
And so, but Gabe was like around to help me with content if
Yeah.
I needed it, but I wasn't predominantly doing more vlogs and stuff until I started working with Mauricio.
Oh,
right?
okay. And so you just wear a lot of hats.
yes,
Yeah.
yeah. So whenever, even to this day, when people ask me like what I do for you, it's like, it's
I said he's a jack of all trades.
yeah,
kinda
it's
guy.
kind of like I use the term like chief of staff as like a catch-all term. It's basically just like if Ray needs something, she'll throw it at me, and either I'll try my best to do it myself, or I will like
or he could find someone.
Oh, you'll
like
outsource.
delegate it to whoever on the team or outsource to somebody. Like
Yeah.
at this point, that's kind of the dynamic we have. But the way it started was like, yeah, mainly just like photos at first, and then it became video, and then like stream setup stuff, and then the more and more stuff she just threw at me. And it's honestly similar to like Samson and Emily's experiences. I think when you're like trying to make a name for yourself in the space, you kind of just like say yes to everything.
Oh, I see.
Mainly out of like an anxiety of like, oh, if I don't do it, somebody else will
Someone
do
else
it.
will.
Oh man.
And he said yes a lot.
Yeah,
Ooh.
and like I'm happy to do it. It was sick, and also I will say to give Ray credit, like Ray made me. Like Ray put me on. Like that shit. That's just true. Like
Wait, really?
The reason I have like remained so loyal to Team Ray is because like I literally owe so much of my career to you, and I don't think you realize that. Like even from frame one, when I was doing those photos on that shoot, the first one, it's like you were already, without even asking you to, you were like tagging me in the photos, like promoting my work, like
She gives her credit.
Exactly.
Oh, I
And I
give
was like,
credit.
and that is like something that unfortunately is actually a lot more rare than you would think in the space. Like a lot of people like have this like very scarcity mentality where they want to like keep producers or whoever behind the scenes and remain the forward talent. Whereas you had this like opposite approach where you were just like, I mean, you're putting your team on a podcast right now. Like it's cool. It's something that should come naturally, but it doesn't for a lot of people. And so like, and that's always been the case. Like whenever I would help produce a live stream for you, it's like sometimes there'd be a cooking sponsor you'd have with like fucking Sweetgreed, and then you would just have me cook with you on stream, and then like chat would like love me and stuff. It's like those are things that, I mean, not only help me for like establishing a personal brand, sure, like it always offers that option to me to like pivot if I want it,
Yeah.
which is cool. But it also shows other like content creators or whatever, or like companies that like, hey, here's this person that Ray, this huge streamer, is like promoting. as like the person that she's trusting to like get her shit done. And that opens more opportunities, and opportunity begets opportunity. And that's what's happened to me too. So it's like, I now obviously do a bunch of shit in the space, but the first person that really like took a chance on me was Ray. And so, yeah, I owe you for that one for sure.
Can we talk about the tattoo?
What's the tattoo?
Wow.
What is this?
Dude, you just broke my brain because I forget it's there.
Do you guys have matching tattoos?
No.
Oh, okay.
So, my most liked photo on Instagram, it has over 1 million likes. It's me wearing a red suit and I'm in the ocean.
Oh, I remember that one.
Yep.
Yeah,
Did you pull it up?
I took those.
Yeah, so he
Oh.
took the
Good job.
photos. But
Good
like,
job.
why did you get the tattoo again?
Well, because it was at like 900,000 likes. And I really wanted some photos that, okay, so backing up a bit, I have like horrible imposter syndrome too. So like, again, it's crazy hearing Emily and Samson speak on this because there's so many parallels I'm noticing. It's just everybody kind of goes through this.
Yeah.
But like, when I was taking those photos for you at the Machine Gun Kelly corpse shoot, I was like, these are going to suck. Like, nobody's going to like them. They ended up being on some of your merch, which was sick. And like, but like in the
Pull
moment,
that up too.
there's so
the
many-
merch
yeah.
that has his photo
We
on it.
can-
He
we
was
can-
so proud too.
yeah, I wear that shirt all the
It
time.
was a
so.
fire shirt.
But there's just a lot of self-doubt and like this idea that like, okay, you have valkyrae here, who is this like superstar, like streamer with, you know, a good amount of resources financially that like she could just throw money at like the most professional photographer in the world and like replace me the moment I say no, or I'm not available, or she's, so it's like, that's always the mindset, even though she never like gave me a reason to think that way. That's just kind of like the shit you tell yourself when you have anxiety and like you're insecure. So going back to like the red suit thing, I was like still in this mindset of like, wow, I'm taking these photos for this big streamer and like she's taking such a chance on me, and they're doing really well. Like people really fucking like the pictures that I'm taking. And so this photo shoot, like the red suit one, was like blowing up really hard, and it was like almost at 1 million likes. And I was like, all right, if this gets 1 million likes, I'll get the word red suit tattooed on my chest.
Oh my god, you guys.
We gotta pull the photo up.
Yeah.
You
For
actually have a
It's like
tattoo.
an-
like
It
just
this?
says red
Oh,
suit.
you
And, like,
are
little
so
typewriter
funny
font.
for
So
that.
cute.
It's I like it a lot, honestly.
I love
too.
that.
To be fair, I got it because I knew that it would look cool. So I was like, I was
Okay.
kind
Yeah.
of baiting the audience a bit. I was like, oh, this is
Yeah,
crazy. I'm
and
gonna get a
it's,
tattoo, guys. It was
I
like,
think
it's
because
cool.
that's why it hit 1 million likes.
No, I don't know
Yeah.
if that's true. It was. We've had another one that's like really close too. So I think, yeah. But
Yeah.
so that's kind of how we started. And then so kind of like just fast forwarding more. I also was victim to the tech world, esports world layoffs. And so at the time when I was working with Ray, it wasn't like 100 Thieves into Ray. I was doing both in tandem. I was working at 100T and also helping Ray on a contracted position. So whenever she would need like help filming a video or with photos or like a stream setup, she would just kind of like pay me per project. It was just like contracted work.
Oh yeah.
And then I got laid off by 100 Thieves, and immediately I messaged Ray and I was like, hey, just a heads up, like I just got let go. So if you have any more work laying around, like I'm more available now. And frame one, she was like, oh, don't worry, like I got you. Like
Yeah, I was like, don't be worried.
Yeah, like-
it's okay. I'm gonna get you a
she
job.
was like, that's we at this point we'd already been working together for like a year or so. And so we had like a good amount of like trust built up, and like we had a
Yeah.
good dynamic. But then when that happened, like just immediately she was like, yeah, like one, that sucks. And she was like, don't worry, like I'll throw work at you. Like we'll figure something out.
You're
and
such
then
an angel.
dude, that's why it's like Ray made me, and also like she has put me on really hard. So I'm like, I mean, I've said this again on other podcasts. I've said this on streams. It's like, I'm a ride or die Ray truther. Like I'm Team Ray.
Oh yeah, 100%.
I'm not paying them to say
No,
this,
it's
guys.
She's not
Truth,
holding
though.
us at
I'm not
gunpoint or anything. No.
Like Ray could have got anybody to be her co-host, and then she picked me from like the business and art community. Like
No, you were a
she's
great pick. No, you were a great pick.
no,
you're
I'm being
fantastic.
serious. Like
God.
she's not paying any of us to say this, but she really is as good as you guys.
This is
think.
becoming the Ray Glaze
see
session.
it. Guys, you guys are making me cry. Like this is fucking me up because I didn't realize like we cry every episode.
That's 3 in a row. You can't cry. That'll be 3 in a row.
Don't
You
like
can't
if I
cry.
see you fucking cry,
It's
Ray,
just-
I'm like gonna cry.
No.
Okay, I can't see you.
God, don't look at me. You're
I'm
making
not
me cry
looking at
because
you.
you're crying. It's just I always forget how much of an impact I have on people's lives.
Joe, for real. Yeah.
Oh fuck. I mean,
We're like gonna
Yeah.
cry.
fuck.
Aw.
Dude, this is 3 episodes in a row.
That's crazy. 3 in a row is
episodes
insane.
No, like you. Oh my god.
It like genuinely breaks my heart that you guys don't like it's like you guys being so stressed when you're so talented. And like in my head, like there was nothing for you guys to worry about. And just hearing how you guys are all like anxious and worried and stressed and like your jobs, like I never want you to feel that way.
You help a lot with that. You help a lot with that. Yes, and I will say.
Oh my God, 3 episodes, bro.
Are we like insane? Are we gonna get our period soon?
I actually
what's
am gonna
going
start
on?
my period soon, so I think it's making me extra emotional.
Oh my God.
Okay,
I can't see you cry because you like have the
No,
most kawawa face when you cry.
It's so sweet.
I'm so fucking serious.
Okay, anyways, I
Okay,
just,
Yeah,
it's just, yes.
you're an
like,
empath.
I am an empath.
Yeah.
And I just like, oh my God, because in my head, because like, I'm so stressed now. I don't want you guys to ever feel stressed.
Oh,
like,
I'm
don't
chilling.
worry. Like, I will always make sure that you guys are happy. Fuck.
It's very sweet. Thank you.
Don't look at me. Don't look at me.
Anyways,
Anyways, well,
somehow you became my YouTube manager.
yes, it was during that time. So basically, the responsibilities just kind of kept piling on as they were like thrown, and me just saying yes to shit. And ultimately, like where we are now, it's like, yeah, it's a kind of a catch-all, like doing anything like stream related if you need it. At least still shoot videos on occasion, like, and then that's why I said it's like a catch-all term of just like kind of chief of staff where whatever needs to get done, she'll throw it at me, and then we'll just delegate it correctly, or I'll just do it myself. And then obviously I'm producing this podcast too. And yeah, I mean,
Sorry.
no, go ahead, please.
What was the craziest like story that you have together as a team? Like any fan interactions, any last minute
We've definitely
things
had some
to book?
crazy shit, but like,
What's something that's juicy that people would just like? I'm curious myself because you guys had so many years together.
I'm not gonna lie, the Machine Gun Kelly corpse
that
video
one was
an
crazy.
adventure.
That one was
It
a
was
journey.
just extra crazy because I had to get my own outfit.
Yeah.
We did hair, my own hair. It was super scuffed in the
Yeah.
middle of nowhere.
Yeah.
Last minute. It was also freezing.
Yes.
And so we like suffered. We went to a sex store to get like this
What?
latex suit
Yeah.
for the outfit that I wore in the
Yeah.
music video.
Oh, you had to
Like,
get your own
these-
wardrobe?
Yeah.
Yes.
No
And-
makeup person.
Ooh.
no makeup person. So I
What?
also like putting it in contact. It was freezing. I put my hair in these uneven. My buns were so bad in the
It's all on video too.
Oh
It's
my
all
God.
on video, and these guys are just coming along with me for the ride, and it was scuffed.
Yeah.
But we got it done, and we
Yeah.
did it.
There's definitely been a lot of just like insane opportunities that have kind of come Ray's way over the past few years where obviously I'm brought along either to film or whatever it may be. And we both kind of have these almost like out of body realizations
Like, how
where
did we
we're
get
just like,
here?
how is this happening? Like the
What are we
Seraphim one
doing?
comes to mind too.
Oh,
Like-
yes.
A K-pop group.
But
Yes,
what
yes.
happens?
crazy.
What happens a lot in those situations, at least for me, and I feel like we kind of are on the same wavelength there, where it's just like there's so much adrenaline at like the prospect of what's going on and how crazy it is. We kind of just black out, and then it's not until afterwards that we're like, that was fucking crazy, and like, but we got it done.
Yeah,
but there's
can't
so
believe
many of
that
those.
happened.
You guys have such a fun work life together. I feel like you're always on the go. You're always
Yeah.
going somewhere. You're
Yeah.
always meeting new
That-
I
creators.
mean, he's traveled to
Yeah.
quite a few places with me to
I'll
help film BTS.
I'll be in Japan with y'all.
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I'm so excited for that.
We're going
Yeah.
to Japan.
Dude, it's funny because going back to the first time I worked with Ray, I remember, and it's been a thought that's been consistent in my mind, and I feel like I've kind of realized that dream is like, I saw the opportunity frame one. It was like, if I say yes to whatever Ray needs and like actually show up and do the work, there's a real world where like Ray kind of like has me as her right hand or like her immediate part of her immediate team, where my dream would just be to like follow her as we like travel or do really cool ass shit and just like point a camera at it and like by proxy also enjoy some of that experience and get those cool opportunities. And that has been the case. Like we've done a ton of that shit. So that was the goal, and like now we're living it. And yeah, there's more. I'm sure there's lots of cool
Lots
stuff.
to come. And
Yeah.
now you're producing for this podcast.
Yeah.
You also produce for another podcast as well.
Yeah. So that's the other part of this is like for sure with Ray legitimizing me just in the space, because I think it's a lot of that too in this space. Like if like somebody's vouch, especially from like a big name like Ray, is like it's very valuable, you know, like so other content creators know that they can trust you or like that you're probably like if she vouches
you're legitimate.
Yeah, exactly. It legitimizes you. And so that's helped a lot. And so nowadays, like, yeah, not only do I produce this podcast and I'm like, you know, I run a lot of the operations at Team Valkyrae, but like I also produce another podcast.
Yeah.
And it all kind of like I said, opportunity begets more opportunity. It all feeds into itself because of that podcast, Ray trusted me with this project.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I feel like
I was like, oh, he's got experience in producing podcasts as well.
Yeah.
Did you know you always wanted to do podcasts?
No,
in the YouTube space?
no. Podcasting like fell on my lap. Like I somehow became the podcast guy, and I don't know how that happened. Not that I mind.
I actually don't know how that happened either.
Yeah. I mean, it all started with. I mean, if you want me to talk about like that side of things, like. Yeah, Will Neff approached me and he was like, "Hey, my podcast with Hassan." So I do the other podcast I do is called Fear and it's with the creators Hassan, Will Neff, Cutie Cinderella, Austin Show, and I'm a co-owner producer of that podcast. And basically, they approached me and were like, "Hey, we want to revive this podcast that we had that was on hiatus, and we know that you're the guy for it." And so yeah,
Like, how did they know you were the guy for
Yeah,
it?
how did they know?
Because a combination of one, your cosign in the space and like showing my skills through stuff that I do
Oh
for
yeah,
you.
I always reference Mauricio as my tech guy.
Yeah.
So like I guess anything tech related, people are like, oh, he's the tech guy.
Okay,
yeah.
okay.
Tech guy and like producer and like also like I mentioned, there was some of my tenure at 100 Thieves that helped because of my work with Courage and H-Shot Show.
Yeah.
And
Oh, that's right.
And so Will,
right.
I don't know if you remember, but Will Neff like co-hosted that show like near its end of its life, and so he had seen me in studio helping produce that, and so that's why when he approached me, and also again it kind of goes back to what Samson was speaking on. It's like Will approached me because when he was signed to 100 Thieves briefly, I became friends with him. Like we just became homies. Like it wasn't because I was like trying to like work for him. We just would see each other in the hallways
just
or on projects,
actually
and we're friends. And like he's like one of my best friends now.
Yeah.
But back in the day, he was like he also I think realizes that too. It's like you want to work with people that you enjoy being around.
Yeah.
And so he was like, we need somebody who can do the podcast and who is cool, I guess. So he hit me up, and then I had horrible imposter syndrome because even though I like knew how to like kind of produce a podcast, I did not realize how much goes into it, especially when there's not like a huge infrastructure. Like for Courage and H-Shot Show, we had like a producer, a PA, a thumbnail guy, a publishing guy, an editor. For Fear and when they approached me with it, they made it seem like, oh, you're just gonna shoot this thing and we'll handle the rest.
Yeah.
No, that's not what it was at all. I did and still continue to do everything top to bottom for that show, and it's very fulfilling work. But it was a lot of like trial and error, a lot of self-teaching, a lot of like crazy long hours and like anxious moments. A lot of times where I thought the show wouldn't even happen. Now it's great and like people fucking love it, but it put me through the ringer. And so when I was coming to this podcast, when Ray approached me, I was like, Ray, I got you. This is gonna be a fucking walk in the park compared to that shit. Like with this place, like we have like an entire team. We have Samson, we have Emily, like
We also have a backlog of videos.
We have a backlog of videos. We have a dedicated space to shoot it. Like there's so much here that like doing that podcast was like doing everything on fucking hard mode. And so when Ray was like, I want you to like produce this podcast, I was like, this is gonna be a walk in the park comparatively, and also it's gonna be way better quality. Sorry, Fear and viewers.
No.
But like, I mean, let's be
can I
real, this shit
say?
looks great. So
What can I say?
Yeah.
What's the most rewarding part of your job?
Honestly, like the fan appreciation and fan engagement, I think, is like the most rewarding. Like obviously, like I love the people I work with. I feel incredibly lucky.
Yeah.
Like I feel like I've like hitched myself to some really good wagons with like Ray and like the Fear and crew and stuff. Like they take super good care of me, and so all of that's super fulfilling. But when I like meet people out in the wild, like at TwitchCon or like out at like conventions
They
or whatever,
know you.
They not only do they know me, and
Yeah.
like obviously the attention is nice. I got my start as a streamer, so I'm definitely a bit of a narcissist and like the attention. But it's more so like when people come up to me and they're like, the shit that you're making provides entertainment and value to my life, just as like an escape. Or like or like just in any capacity, I'm like, that's so fucking cool. Like I love that shit. So that's really the most rewarding stuff for sure.
Yeah.
So I have 2 questions.
Yes.
So I want to know how, like, what did you want to be when you grew up, when you were a kid? Like, did you see yourself falling into a career like this? Because I feel
No.
like this kind of career is kind of niche, isn't it?
It is.
Like, it's very unique.
It's
like,
very
the way
new,
you're-
too.
It's very new,
Yes.
and also when people ask me what I do, I still don't really know how to describe it.
Yeah,
It's
I
like,
don't even know how to
yeah,
describe it.
I was gonna ask you. So, what is like your official title? Like
That's
what?
So up until recently, I went to the DNC with Hassan, and that's when the term chief of staff came across my like.
Chief of staff is a good.
Up until
Yeah.
then, when people would ask me, I'd be like producer, like videographer, like tech guy. I'd kind of just list all the things. I'd be like, I don't know.
You just do it all.
But then like somebody at the DNC was like asking me like, what do you do? What do you do? What do you do? And then when I described all of that to them, they were like, oh, so you're kind of like Ray's chief of staff. And I was like, what is that? They're like, yeah, they're
That's
just
what
like,
you are.
They're like, oh, it's just somebody that like they like throw stuff at and then like they figure it out. I'm like, oh yeah, that's exactly what it is. So yeah, and then to answer your question about like, what did I want to do? I didn't go to a nice college. Okay, I dropped out.
Oh, same.
Yeah,
Same. Dropped out of being dental
I'm
hygiene.
actually like the black sheep of my family. My brother is like a neuroscientist and like.
Wow.
fucking
Oh,
Wait.
that's
weird.
crazy.
Wait,
We-
could
we
you,
all
so,
dropped
so
we
what-
can't hear Emily.
Emily
So could
just-
you reiterate
So,
what Emily just said?
Emily just said that all 3 of us dropped out of college, and all 3 of us have siblings that do neuroscience.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
Wait.
crazy.
insane
I
word.
did
Wait,
not,
that's
which is
insane.
really
so
weird.
if you also
so
dropped out
weird.
of college and have a sibling in neuroscience, you could work for me.
yeah. If you're watching and you have a sibling in neuroscience.
Don't drop out of college to work for me. Oh my god, that's insane.
Yeah. I didn't go to like any like nice school and drop out though. I tested out of I was not ever interested in like academia really to begin with. I was like, I mean, I'm a gamer.
It was like not your thing.
Yeah, I was just like grew up on video games. I like knew that that's what I wanted to do. I started playing League of Legends as a kid and like got into like the competitive like
League is a gateway
And we
drug.
all play League.
yeah, and then so like I was like, and that was like really. I'm older than these two, so like I'm 29. So like I grew up in like middle school, high school with like the rise of esports in the West. So I was like getting a front row seat to that happening, and that was the coolest shit ever to me. I was like, people are getting paid to play video games. Like it's like competitive. Like I love this shit. And so I tested out of high school a year early. I was like, this shit is not for me. And then I was like, I'm gonna go to community college, get a head start there. Dropped out of community college a semester in, and I
So
was.
when you dropped out, you already had like a stable job and stuff?
No,
Oh,
no,
you
no,
just
wow.
dropped
no.
out for the fun of it.
For the love of the game, yeah. And then I took such. Do not do what I did. Like I took such a gamble on my entire life. It's crazy. Like that's why I feel very like lucky that everything worked out. But like I guess maybe it kind of bred this mindset in my head that like failure was just not an option.
A
'Cause,
sense
like,
of urgency.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm the same way. When I dropped out, I didn't have anything lined up. I was a custodian at Delta Airlines. I was cleaning toilets.
Yeah,
And it was
I
just like-
Did you know? I didn't
Yeah.
know that.
Yeah.
and you've done an amazing job.
Thank you. So you just, when you don't have anything lined up, you just have that
You
sense
figure
of,
it
you're like a
out.
rat, like you're looking for your cheese. You just have a sense
Looking
of
for the
urgency.
cheese.
No, seriously.
Yeah. And so like I ended up like I was like 17 at the time. I like went to a local land center in my hometown. I grew up in a suburb of Los Angeles called Chino Hills, and like there was a local land center there at the time. And I went there to go play some League of Legends, and that's where I met Gabe, like my best friend.
Wow.
And remember, he was
Oh my
working the front
God.
desk there.
Was
and then,
he already working at 100 Thieves?
No, this is
Wait,
like
how did you both
this
get
is like
hired?
this is like 4 years before 100 Thieves. This is like so
So who found 100 Thieves first and got hired and then recommended
Nate
the other?
Shot poached Gabe from Team Liquid to start 100 Thieves.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
And Gabe worked at Team Liquid, and like before that, he worked at Winter Fox. He climbed like the early esports ladder, and I the entire time was streaming full time.
Jeez,
And
this
s-
gay person is very important.
Yeah, he's great.
Very great.
Yeah, we love
Okay.
Gabe.
I'll
he's
introduce
very
you to
he's
him
very
someday.
talented. He's
Okay.
a creative genius.
Yeah.
But so anyway, I met him there, became friends with him there. He ended up actually helping me get a job at that land center because again, like we just got along super well. We became besties pretty quickly. And he was like, you should work here, like work at the land center with me. So we just worked at a land center. And then what happened was like, I didn't have a PC at home good enough to like stream or play video games really. And so I would like work an 8-hour shift at the land center and then close up shop and then use one of the PCs and go live and play this game called Heroes of the Storm, which is like now a dead game, but it was like Blizzard's League of Legends basically. And I became super fucking good at that game and like grew a lot in that community. And like Blizzard sponsored me, and like I made enough money to
Wait,
like
so you were a
Wow.
streamer for a while.
yeah, for like 4 years. I like
What?
moved out of my parents' house to like off streaming money, like off like so, like I have like a community that's like been with me from those days
Yeah.
still. Whenever I turn the stream camera on. Nowadays I don't stream much, but like because I'm so fucking busy. But like sometimes I do, and like I say hello to people.
I saw you stream like the other night.
Yeah, it's great. But so yeah, what was the question? What was I talking about?
just
What
talking
you, how you like fell into the job, really,
Oh,
like what you
yeah.
saw yourself doing
Oh, right.
growing up and
Yeah.
stuff.
So, right, what I saw myself doing. So back then, for years and years, my thing was like, I'm gonna be a pro gamer. Like, I'm gonna go.
Oh,
pro-
you were gonna be
Yeah,
a
I
pro
was like,
gamer.
even when I was streaming, I was like, I'm just streaming because I'm in the top 100 of this game right now, and I'm only just streaming to show my gameplay, not because I'm gonna be an entertainer.
Oh, so
I
there's a
see.
difference between a pro gamer and an entertainer.
For
Yes.
sure. And some
I
people are
see.
both, but mostly it's like one or the other.
I see. Okay.
And so I was like, I'm just gonna be a pro. And then eventually I realized, oh, I'm making way more money from this streaming thing than some of the pro players in this game are making from the game. So I was like, I guess I should just focus on streaming and content creation. And then eventually, like that game died, and I was kind of like homeless in terms of like I had no game to like stream every day.
Yeah.
And so, and that was like a pretty stressful, like depressing time in my life. And it was about that time that Gabe was starting 100 Thieves, and he was like, hey, you know how to produce live streams because you did it for yourself for like 4 years, and we need somebody to like do live streaming for us at 100 Thieves, so like come do it.
That's how it
And
happened.
that's how it happened.
Wow.
And then everything onward has all been like self-taught, saying yes to opportunities and figuring it out. But I have like no traditional like education when it comes to like even like film or like tech or anything like that. All that shit is just like school of YouTube, school of Google. And
See?
so
The power of the internet.
yeah. Power of
yes, but
internet.
it's also a great recipe for imposter syndrome because like you're like, oh,
Yeah.
somebody
You
who
guys
did go
all
to
went through the same
Dude,
shit.
no,
Yeah.
same. I never went to school for like product development.
You just
or
learn
art.
as you go.
You learn as you go, and you get that experience from like the people around you, and it does breed a lot of imposter syndrome
Yeah.
because you're like, I was never formally taught,
right.
So I don't know like the foundation.
Yeah, I realized that like, and my imposter syndrome is not nearly as bad these days. It's something that I've worked through a lot over time, and it's kind of something that I've like learned. Actually, you helped me a lot with that too, and I don't know if you remember this, but I have this conversation burned into my brain, and you probably don't even remember it.
Oh,
But
What did
it
I
was
say?
it was 2 years ago when we were at Coachella together, when you brought me along to take photos for you at Coachella.
Yeah.
And I was like just along for the ride, you know, and we were staying with a lot of like your friends, like some of the roomies back in the day and stuff. And I'm friends with a lot of those guys too. And I remember you turned to me at one point throughout the weekend and you were like, it's so cool that like you're just friends with a lot of my friends because like when I need you to go and like turn on and like shoot some content, you're there. And then whenever the cameras are off, you can just like hang out and chill.
Yeah.
And then it really made me realize I was like, oh, maybe I don't have like the traditional like education in like these like mediums, but there's something valuable to just like being somebody that like someone can trust and like they feel comfortable around.
Yeah.
And like
It's a vibe thing.
yeah, and
It's a
like
vibe
that's
thing.
something that like you can't really hire for. Like,
No.
like you need to kind of just either you have it or you don't, you know?
Yeah.
And so that really helped with a lot of my imposter syndrome where I was like, yeah, maybe somebody might be like traditionally more trained for this or like have the hard skills that are a little better than mine, but that doesn't necessarily mean that they'll like mesh better or like you can trust them more.
Yeah.
And like, so now I realize the value in that too, and it's helped me build my confidence a lot too.
Nice.
It's also compatibility with how like we work together. Like some people might, you know, hate how I run things.
Sure.
Yeah.
But like
Yeah. I mean,
also,
it is crazy
can I
sometimes.
just say how I'm so impressed by how well spoken all three of you were for not really ever being on camera. You guys just speak so fluently and clearly
I
and
give
eloquently.
credit to them because they don't
Aw.
do. I am on camera a good amount.
Yeah, you are on camera
like,
a lot more
but
often,
yeah,
especially.
I was
but-
actually very impressed with the two of them too.
yeah,
so
it's very nice.
yeah,
How are we doing on time?
we're
We
fucked.
are
We're fucked.
We're fucked. We're way over.
2.5 hours.
Y'all said you,
Oh,
Okay.
wow.
y'all said you wanted long
I think-
episodes. This is
Is there anything else you wanted to say?
Yeah,
no.
talk about?
I mean, I'm
Oh, I had one more question.
okay.
Okay.
Okay. Now that we're here, right?
The worst part of working with you.
Podcast.
Oh.
No.
Sorry.
Wait, what is the
Sorry.
worst part
No, I
about
don't know.
working with me?
No, it's fine.
What is it? What do you have any like big goals for your future, like career wise? Like, are you pretty content? Because like now that you're producing for 2 podcasts, that's pretty long term shit.
Yeah, for sure. Like, I think about this a lot, and like the question that I get often when I tell people I'm producing 2 podcasts are like, oh, so like when are you gonna like scale into a podcast network? I was like, I don't want to do that at all. I was like, I'm not doing that. Like, I have no interest in doing that. I'm not trying to like have like employees or anything like that.
Yeah.
But honestly, like I'm pretty stable right now. Like I said, I feel very lucky that the people that I've kind of attached myself to want to do this for a long time. Like, you're in this shit for a minute. Like,
I'm locked
like
in.
Hassan and them are like in this shit for a minute. Like, they have no signs of slowing. So like, and so the podcast offered me like at least a good runway for a while, probably, unless something goes horribly wrong. And then also, I mean, probably trying to further establish myself as like just a personal like person of interest, like figure or like brand.
A brand?
Yeah, and like I don't know what that
kind
would,
of brand. Like
I don't know what that would
e-com?
look like. I mean, again, I got my start in all this shit streaming, so there's definitely like a part of my brain that like
Agency?
enjoys
I
being in front of
know.
the camera.
What?
Marche's merch.
Ooh. If you need help with manufacturing,
you
a procuring
I
agent.
remember a few years ago when you styled this shirt. It was really cool.
I don't know.
Wait, no, I'm gonna find it. You styled I don't know if it was like your merch or your own merch or
Oh, I was working on like merch or something.
yeah, you were working.
It had to be Fear and stuff.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think you were design. It had to have been.
Yeah, which is again is something that I am very passionate about. I think that's actually probably a better answer for this question is like I am totally content as far as like my workload and like my finances. I'm not somebody who's like very financially motivated. As long as I have enough money to do whatever the fuck I want, I'm not trying to be like the richest person. And like I've never been that way. I'm not a frugal person. And like as far as like my workload goes and like my work-life balance, I feel like I'm at a good spot right now. I have a lot of stability. So now I'm just like really interested. I have this like obsession with like becoming the most complex person I could be if I'm not like
Complex.
if I'm not like constantly like working towards like building on a hobby or some like side quest, I feel like I'm wasting my time. So it's like whether that be like, you know, getting into the fashion world or like DJing and music or like streaming.
Oh, yeah, you DJ'd before.
Yeah, or like streaming and stuff. Like those are all like other like verticals that I'm passionate about. And so now I just feel like, okay, cool. I'm at a position in my life where I can explore those and I'm happy with those. So that's what I want to do is just like explore hobbies and shit. And like if I can turn one of those things into a job, great. And if not, like I'm set already. So we'll see.
So much talent.
I know.
So much talent.
too.
Thank you.
All right,
Thank you. That's
we
so
are
nice.
so over the time. It's silly that I thought we could allocate 20 minutes to each person. This is probably gonna be cut down a lot, but this is gonna be a long episode.
Yeah, I think it was
But
good though.
I think it's great. People
Yeah.
have been asking for long episodes. I mean, don't get used to it. We're not normally gonna have 3 guests.
You
Yeah.
want to tease some stuff we have down the pipeline, maybe?
know.
Oh,
Maybe future
Oh.
guests.
Oh, we do have
No-
some
maybe no
future
names,
guests
but-
locked
No names.
in.
No names.
I'm worried about name dropping in case it
No,
doesn't
no,
work
don't
out.
name drop. But we
Yeah.
have
But we do
more
have
content.
some upcoming guests, special guests that will be on the pod as well. And we're not always gonna have guests. Like we'll have our duo episodes every
Yeah.
month. But like I think sprinkling in some guests every now and then
Yeah.
is really nice.
If
But
anything, this was like more of like a test run to see like what a guest format would feel like. And I
not
think it
even.
I think it
Yeah.
no,
flows
this
well.
was requested.
Oh,
This was
This
requested.
when we
People-
asked the first episode, what kind of guests you would like to see. Even I put it on my Insta story, like type what kind of guests you would like to see on the podcast, and a lot of people were saying like, "Oh, the team, like the crew,
I
like
did
what's
see
it
those
like
comments.
to work with you
Yeah.
and
I
stuff." So,
Yeah.
I'm glad. Like this is awesome.
was
This
good.
is a valuable episode.
Now you guys know Team Press Escape, and I'm hoping we do this for a long time.
Yeah.
Me too.
Me
Yeah.
too.
Are you feeling better, by the way?
Yeah, I threw up before this because of my acid reflux.
You're a
and-
trooper.
Yeah, thanks.
Yeah, she
thanks.
got
Yeah.
through it. She was
Yeah,
feeling
I got through it.
unwell.
I just like, I was sitting here and then I just ran to the bathroom. I took out my retainer and then I threw up in the sink. I cleaned it, by the way, so it didn't smell.
It's okay.
But then, yeah, I
Mika
took
took
some.
a shit on the carpet the other day, so you know
There's
it's
so much
just,
bodily fluids from
we're
different species in
struggling over
here.
here with bodily issues.
Yeah.
All right, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. Another upcoming thing is we're going to Japan in January, so
Yes.
that'll be our first travel pod.
That'd be fun.
Thank you guys for watching.
Yeah.
Oh, you get to walk off with
Yeah,
us
you
today.
get to walk off.
Yay.
Oh yeah.
Okay, ready? 3, 2, 1. 3, 2, 1. 3, 2, 1. Yay!
Go be free.
Yippee!
Go be free.
Good job, everybody. Now fuck.